All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In Iraq and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900 and always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. on Fox Sports 910.
Suns are in the Twin Cities to take on the Timberwolves, and we are hearing Jay Crowder's butt hurts. We're going to get in a lot today. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910. Let's just get right to it.
You sound exasperated over there, Roc.
Well, I mean, the Jay Crowder thing to me is such a mystery. And for those of you who have not heard, there in a recent conversation with Bleacher Report, he made it clear that his holdout for the team is unrelated to his contract, and that he has support of all of his teammates, despite this team losing. He goes on to say, I've spoken to every player that I played with on that team, and they've all stressed how much they miss me and respect my decision, and thankfully for their understanding. This move of pushing me out the door was a blindsided hit to not only me, but my teammates. As you can see from speaking to them and myself, and the conversations we've had behind closed doors. I will continue to prepare myself daily for the battle once the call is made and continue to be a leader on the court, locker room, as well as off the court. I'm thankful for my teammates, appreciate my leadership. I'm confused and hurt. My coaches didn't appreciate the things I brought to our team and our organization. This has nothing to do with financial or contract differences. Then what is it? Your butt's hurt. You are upset that the organization didn't give you a red carpet? Are you upset that the organization was trying to prove themselves and they would use you as trade bait to maybe unload you? And this is what you're saying? And if this is such a big deal, then come out, have the balls, and tell us what is pissing you off. Why you won't play? What did the organization do? You have nothing to do with the organization anymore. Sure, yeah, you're under contract, but you are getting paid. But hey, tell us what you think. Tell us what you're bitching about. Tell us why you won't play. Tell us what the beef is that you have with this organization, and get your ass in the gym and start playing for this team, because this team needs you right now.
Boy, Roc, you read that and I went, wow. I mean, why now? And why has he not? If he really feels his teammates are behind him, why hasn't he gone, or his agent, to try to make amends, to try to be a part of this team? And I agree with you. Okay, why are you playing this out in Joe Q public? Why don't you keep this behind closed doors? Go to the Suns and say, look, whatever issues you had with me before, let's talk about them. Let's resolve them. Because clearly I think they could use him. And then number two.
Really?
Yeah, clear. And the other thing is, if it's so egregious to what he would be in the locker room or bringing the team, then let's hash it out. If that's what it is.
Public or not in public. But if you're saying that your teammates are saying that you're one of the leaders, we all know the players run the organization. Let's just be frank. If Devin Booker said, all right, Monty and the general manager and everyone else, James Jones, we need Jay Crowder. Let's get him. Let's figure this out. Let's get him on the court. We need him. Because, think about how this team is spiraling. They have lost 8 of their last 10. They are under 500. And no one understands why Jay Crowder is not there. They need help. They need more bodies on the court.
Well, they've lost 15 out of the last 19 and taking on a Minnesota team and going into Catman territory, what have you. I agree with you, Roc. It's like, why does it always got to come out on social media? Why can't you just go handle your business?
Exactly.
And he's like, he's backing up, saying, hey, look, everybody on the team misses me. Everybody on the team supports me.
Yeah.
Everybody on the team, this, and this. So it's all about the coaches and management. Okay, well, you keep throwing gasoline on the fire like that, it will continue to be about the coaches and management with that. Versus saying, hey, James Jones and Monty, can I come talk to you guys? I feel good. Whatever issues we have, let's resolve them. And I want to get back to this team. I can clearly help this team. Because I wonder, Roc, we hear about Robert Sarver maybe holding up trades with Jay Crowder. Maybe the word's out there on Jay Crowder that he's maybe a malcontent, and it's out there. Maybe there's why some teams don't want him. Now, I know Indiana would love to have him, but it's all about the Suns making sure they can give them or get in return what he gets. I just don't understand, why do they continue to put this out there and not handle it in by the way, how about this? A professional manner.
And for him, to say that he's confused and hurt. Sorry, you millionaire basketball
It's not about the money, Rock. Not about the money.
It's BS.
Yeah, it's not about the money.
This is what I hate about sports. This is what I hate about these athletes that are so enabled. And if you don't get to them right when they come into the league, it just gets worse and worse and worse. Kyler Murray is going to be a problem forever. The kid's been able since he started. Yeah. He's been able since they signed him. He got the money. We could talk about all that, which we talked about yesterday, the day before, about what a so-called veteran on this team said about Kyler Murray, and then once he got paid, he didn't care anymore. I mean, it's just ridiculous how sports has gotten to this point, but it doesn't matter. All of us are still going to pay all this money to go to a game. We're going to drink the $25 beers. Mm-hmm. We're going to pay the $30 parking, and we're going to help these guys make millions and millions of dollars. And then when they want to bitch and they want to go on social media, we're just going to talk about it, and then until the next guy comes up, the news cycle will change.
It's almost as if you say, "Hey, look, you see how you're doing without me? The guys are supporting it. Really would like to have me back in there." And I got to tell you, Suns fans, it's not because I don't want to be there. It's because they're keeping me away. Well,
why? But wouldn't it be nice for just someone to come up, and James Jones, and just say, "Hey, all right, I'm going to be transparent with you guys, the media. This is why Jay Crowder is not playing." Just blank. Just
I would wish.
Just why not for once be some transparency? Not like, hey, we're at Toyota and Toyota needs to tell us why that sales guy got fired or why that sales guy decided to leave. I mean, it's not that they need to tell us everything. That stuff needs to stay in-house if you own an organization. Well, however, when we are providing the revenue for the team to pay these players by being fans, by buying the merchandise, by watching them on TV, everything, you would think that just once it'd be nice to have an ownership and a general manager to come out and be transparent.
It would be nice, Rock. That's one of those pipe dreams we'd all love to have, wouldn't we? I mean, to say absolutely nothing, and I can almost guarantee you, James Jones, this organization is not going to comment. They're going to take the high road and go. Their actions speak much louder than their words by not having him on this team. And as I recollect, wasn't James Crowder throwing shade at the Suns organization before the preseason?
Oh, yeah, because he was upset that he was in the trade talks.
Yeah, God forbid, but he held that, and for whatever reason, and we don't know, folks, we're just kind of speculating what we kind of read and see. We're kind of reading the tea leaves or between the lines of things that aren't said, that, obviously his comments, his actions were enough for them to say, okay, if you want to play that way, we'll get the last laugh by holding you out. Oh, by the way, you're not going to practice. We'll pay you, but you just stay home.
That's another thing, if you think about this, the big picture, and where you look at this organization and say, what the WTF?
Yeah,
you're paying this guy. You are still paying this guy. Trade deadline's February 9th? I mean, but to pay him the millions of dollars, you're just, there you go. You don't even need to show up. You don't need to come to practice. You don't have to do anything. And you could call Chris Haynes from Bleacher Report and unload this story.
Sure. Yeah. The only guy that we know that sat home and got paid was Deshaun Watson with Houston. The only other, and I'm sure there's been many others, but that was the most egregious one.
But those are a little bit different because those are holdouts for big contracts. This isn't financial,
or because of his alleged, massage.
Well, he was
stuff.
Suspended.
Yeah, but he got paid. But this was just really odd, and for Suns fans, for NBA fans, and for fans in general. There must be really a lot to this that we're not hearing, and especially when you get the support. So my thought process, Rock, is okay. Maybe there's some angst about Jay Crowder, and this Suns team, the culture's changed because they're upset of the way the handling of Jay Crowder, and there could be that kind of in the background of, oh man, we're not really happy, and because Rocket, the culture seemed to evaporate after the New Orleans playoff win. They get in Dallas, they just seemed like they were in a funk because they were hard. They played defense. They were all high five. They were a very close knit group, and it just seemed as though it wasn't quite as affectionate on and off the court in reference to what they were doing. Doing the dance and all the stuff before the game and all that kind of stuff. Something happened. We don't know if it's because of Jay Crowder. Well, but something's amiss.
It would be nice, and maybe the inner circles know what is really going on with Jay Crowder in this organization, but. If Jay is not happy, obviously, he doesn't want to play for whatever reason, then why wouldn't you get in front of a microphone or in front of a television camera and let it all out and let people know, and that way all the other NBA teams knows what's going on.
He's got
and it's
nothing to
coming
lose.
from him, not from somebody, a scribe. So it needs to come from him. So I would love to see that one of these days.
Versus all this,
air it out,
all this code talk, and
you have nothing to lose. You're never going to play for this team again.
Nothing.
It's clear, right? That's clear. So why wouldn't you just go out there and market yourself and get in front of a camera and say, all right, this is why it didn't work out for the Suns. We had our differences because of this. This is how I saw it. This is how the Suns saw it. He lays it out there, and then the Suns can comment any way they want, and then you move forward. Or just doesn't seem like it should be this difficult.
Or just say no comment.
No, you can't do that because why do it then? That's just that.
No, the Suns could, after he spews.
Well, Suns can use this. It's in the manual on page 38 that if a player says this is what you got to react.
The old code of conduct.
Yeah, it could be something like that. We don't comment on player, whatever. That's just not BS. It's like, gosh, this is just. And I was to the point where I don't know Jay Crowder. I mean, if he walked in, I'd say hi, whatever. I thought he was a decent player. I thought he kind of, when he made his first three, he kept shooting and missed the next five. But I mean, I like the guy. I like what he brings to the court.
Energy.
But at the same time, and I know he'd kick my ass. I mean, look how big that guy is, and I shouldn't be knocking him right now. But I would have more respect for him if he would literally step up and tell everybody what the hell is going on.
I think he's added fuel to the fire from his end, and the Suns' end, they're just not going to respond. They're not going to respond to it. And I'm sure that I would hope they've had the conversation with all the other players in that locker room in reference to, here's kind of where we're at with this. If you have any questions, come see us. Or just I hope that they talked about it. But when you've got players saying they're all backing me up, Mikal Bridges backing him up.
Yeah, he said, quote, Bridges said, that's one of our leaders.
That's a strong statement, Rock. That this time of year, halfway through the season, as if he's still in that locker room, that's one of our strong leaders.
Let me finish what he said, though. So he also went on to say, I texted him not too long ago and told him how much I miss him. That's my guy. It's the NBA. It happens. I know he wants to be here, but it's the league. That's just how it is sometimes. This is my 5th year in the league, and I understand how it could be. And here's the interesting. You've got to protect yourself sometimes. We'll love to have him here, but we get it. There is something ugly that someone is protecting, and I have a feeling that Bridges, they all know why.
Oh, sure they do. He wouldn't have said that. He basically said
you've got to protect yourself sometimes. That's interesting in that quote.
And whether it's protecting your image or your character, what was said or wasn't said, and I mean, it's nothing financial. I get that, but it's something that happened.
I'm sure that money has something to do with everything in the NBA.
Well, I know, but Jay Crowder said it's not a money thing. It is something that happened, something that wasn't appreciated. And if it was that egregious, is it going to affect other teams that are looking at Jay Crowder? Obviously, Indiana, it's not. And Robert Sarver's got the approval to give it one way or the other. And why he's not, it could be something vindictive against Jay Crowder, or just vindictive against the Suns, or could be vindictive against the NBA for making him sell the team.
Got our top play of the night's coming up. We also have some of the top stories of the afternoon, which we didn't get to as we jump right into the Jay Crowder thing. We will catch up at about 2:30. Sean Salisbury, 1:30. Sean Salisbury will join us. Looking forward to that. In hour number 2, Manuch's Clipboard Report will break down the Super Wildcard Weekend. We'll also catch up with Scott Spreitzer, who will handicap all those games. And then in hour number 3, Kevin Rowe will stop by for our over-under contest. So we got a lot to get into today. Of course, we'll talk more about this Jay Crowder deal, as well as the latest on Sean Payton as the next head coach, possibly, for your Arizona Cardinals. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Just getting started out here at Wright Toyota. This is Fox Sports 910.
Make plans for the big one Sunday, February 12th at either the Showroom in Casino, Arizona or the Ballroom in Talking Stick Resort. Win cash just for watching the big game, as this year marks Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B as the 22nd consecutive season. Doors open at 2. First come, first serve. Just be 21 or older. It's the big game viewing parties with tons of cash and giveaways. See you on February 12th at either Casino, Arizona or Talking Stick Resort.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Remember those bullies in high school? Of course you do. That's the way the insurance companies treat injured victims after a car wreck. It's unbelievable. And those tough-talking lawyers that stay out of court, they'll never get you the money you really deserve. At Learn and Row, we fight the bullies and take them to court. That's why we recovered over $200 million for our clients last year alone. In a wreck, need a check? Call Learn and Row. We're your 24/7 injury attorneys.
Learn and Row is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Looking for the perfect gift for your lady? Guys, us girls love anti-aging laser facials. And right now, you need to go to miracleskinlaserspa.com and get her a gift card as they are running a $100 holiday special. That's 50% off. You need to jump on it now. Miracle Skin Laser Spa is located in the Paradise Valley Aesthetics offices at 32nd Street, just north of Cactus. Head to miracleskinlaserspa.com and take advantage of this incredible holiday special.
Are you looking to get into the best shape of your life or looking to offer your son or daughter the best training in Arizona? Then listen up. Dan Manucci for the new Cocoa 5 Performance Center at Bell Bank Park in Mesa. The state-of-the-art Performance Center is a 25,000 square foot facility and is home to sports performance for teens, individuals, combine prep, and professional athletes. And now the new home where I coach my quarterback. 80 yards of indoor turf and track along with an outside turf workout area, plus tons of squat and bench stations along with world-class training equipment. And they have the best team of coaches in the Southwest led by Olympic gold medal winner Dan O'Brien. If you or your son or daughter are ready to take the next step by gaining more speed, agility, power, or flexibility, then you need to check out the Cocoa 5 Performance Center at Bell Bank Park. Sign up by calling 480-572-0647, and one of their team members will create an individualized program specific to your needs. That's 480-572-0647 or online at legacyperformanceaz.com. For limited time, if you mention me, Dan Manucci, they'll give you your first session on me. That's legacyperformanceaz.com.
Ever wonder what your dog does all day? I wonder what that sock tastes like. God, I hate cats. Wow, look at that. I can lick my... Hey, man's best friend needs a good time, too. Duke's on Miller and McDowell is located right on the Greenbelt, has 3 huge patios, and is extremely dog-friendly. Grab a burger and a nice cold beer, a bowl of water, and enjoy all that Scottsdale's favorite sports bar has to offer. Where? Duke's! Where? Duke's! Miller and McDowell! Scottsdale!
This week at Macy's, get an extra 20% off with your coupon or Macy's card. That's on top of already great deals, like 25 to 60% off cold weather gear for the whole family, 30 to 60% off select bedding and bath, plus 30% off select small appliances. And Star Rewards members earn on every purchase, except gift cards, services, and fees at Macy's, Macy's Backstage, and Market by Macy's. More at Macy's.com/Star Rewards. Savings off sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
Go on.
Roc and Manuch. No Jimmy B today. Out golfing. Deserved a well-deserved day off, right?
Worked hard. Those 4 days, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
It catch up to you soon.
I would, Matt. Yeah. I mean, at his age.
At his age.
Yeah, I get it.
The young, spry young man he is.
Let's get to our Valley Chevy's top play of the night, as you're going to hear who you just give him the MVP right now in the NBA. He leads the NBA in scoring, over 34 points a game. He's ranked second in the league in triple doubles. I think he's got 9. Jokic's got right behind 11. He has the most games with 30-plus points this year. He's just constantly just killing it, and he's clutch. And he did it again last night. Here it is.
Midway through the third, Dinwiddie gives it right back. Shooter on Doncic, 3-pointer on its way for the top. It's good. Luka Doncic, a clutch 3. Timeout, Lakers. 6 seconds left.
Yeah, he drilled a clutch 3-point bucket there to send the Mavs and Lakers into overtime. That was courtesy of TNT. Dallas went on to win 119-115. Luka Doncic just having a heck of a year.
It makes it look easy, too, Rock.
It really does.
His shots, I mean, he shoots it from 50 feet, from 10 feet, layups, left hand, right hand, hook. 13 assists, the 15 rebounds, as you mentioned, the triple doubles that he has. He's got so much control of his game, and I don't care who's on him or not, but I mean, it's kind of like he and LeBron going back and forth, and not so much a changing of the guard, but just watching him and the Jokers, like, these two guys are just phenomenal in the West. I mean, just to watch them go at it, you could see Denver and Dallas. The
West, and then then Jason Tatum has been awesome for Boston, and of course Giannis is always going to be good, and even Kevin Durant is having a heck of a year too. So we got a lot of basketball to get into over the next 4 or 5 months. let's just hope that the Suns can kind of turn this around, get some healthy guys in there, and maybe make a few trades to improve. But right now, it's not looking too good for this team. They're in Minneapolis tonight, and then they'll end the weekend on Monday as they have Memphis on Martin Luther King Day. We'll be off on Monday, so they'll be in Memphis, so you can watch that game. But Twin Cities tonight, and hope that DeAndre Ayton may go tonight. I think it's more of a game
questionable time decision. What they're saying, I know the campaign is out.
Yeah,
that's he's really been nicked and dinged most of the year this year. I hope he can get right and get himself ready to go the last month and a half.
So college basketball, ASU's winning streak is up to 3. They cruised past Oregon yesterday in Eugene, 90-73. Desmond Cambridge Jr., he had yet another great game. He had 21 points to lead the Sun Devils, who are now 14-3 on the season. They'll visit Oregon State tomorrow. Elsewhere, you had 9th-ranked Arizona beating Oregon State 86-74. GCU, they crushed UT Arlington 80-48. The Cats are in Oregon tomorrow, while the Lopes visit California Baptist tomorrow. We almost had a clean sweep over the week or last night in basketball in the state. NAU, they fell on a buzzer beater at Portland State. They were down by 17 and facing a 10-point deficit at half, but they came back and they made it close. But a 3-pointer at the buzzer did them in as the Lumberjacks dropped to 5-13, 1-4 in the Big Sky. They got Sac State tomorrow. If you saw this earlier in the week, it was kind of interesting. You know, we don't talk a lot of women's basketball, but we talk about injuries in the NBA, specifically with the Suns. And for Arizona State women's basketball to have to forfeit their games at Utah and Colorado because they don't have enough players. For the Pac-12, they had these guidelines, and ASU was not able to play. They have to have a minimum of 7 available scholarship athletes. They don't. They had 5 of their 13 available, so they have had to forfeit those 2 games at Utah and Colorado. I have never heard that before, ever. They're not rescheduling. It is considered wins for Utah and Colorado.
And the key phrase there, 7 scholarship athletes.
That's you have to have. You have to have a minimum.
That's interesting. I always thought if you had just 6 or 7, period.
Got to have a minimum of 7.
Man,
scholarship players.
Yeah. I mean that is a first.
Because you would think, hey, you go to the arena, the intramurals. Pick up a couple ladies that are out there playing some pretty good basketball. Because there's a lot of kids that play D1.
The managers too, bring them on.
Yeah, but the key is scholarship. That's the whole key. So if you got 8 to 10 and they're all injured, and you only got 5 scholarship. Hell, 2 days before you're officially on scholarship. Yeah, you 3 right there. We're going to put you on scholarship beginning today because we need bodies to start. I've never heard of that, right? I've never.
And then there's the conspiracy theorists out there that said, okay, well, maybe the women's program's not making enough money, saving some money by not having to go to Utah and Colorado.
I don't think so. I know. Hey,
how do you not have enough healthy options?
Well, I get you, but if Charlie Turner Thorne was still there as a head basketball coach, that would not. That number one, no indictment against the current head coach. But that would not happen. She'd make sure that all the particulars. Now,
that's not fair.
Well,
that's not fair. She has no control.
No, what I'm talking about the conspiracy theory about pretty much not going to Utah or Utah State. That's what I'm saying. From that, she would not. She wants to go play. Now, if it's a holdup, they've got to make some kind of amends to make sure you got more than enough scholarship players on that team.
Staying with women's basketball, and this kind of got buried, and I know a lot of people won't talk about it, but there's been some world criticism that has kind of embarked in our state because the Arizona Republic decided to name Brittany Griner their statesperson of the year. And there's been a lot of question, and the question basically is, do you think the criticism Brittany Griner faces for receiving this award is warranted or unwarranted? And that was one of the big questions in the last couple of weeks, because there's been some heavy criticism that she got the same award that Pat Tillman got. a true American hero.
Sure.
And you can make a case for both sides, I'm sure. And I know this is political, but it is. Let's just be honest. Sure. But to get the Arizonan Year Award, she gets that, which is given to some big-time heroes on the same level as a Pat Tillman. You could argue that up and down.
Oh my goodness,
people think that is pathetic. That is woke. That is stupid.
Yeah. And I would say, because I think what a lot of them are arguing, and I've seen a little bit of this, is that she created the scenario was over in Russia. Now with her being held in Russia, does that overstep her?
She broke the law.
And that's where a lot of people had heartburn. Not so much if she wouldn't have been popped or busted, and they held her for political reasons over there, it might be a different story.
Yeah,
but there was a
reason why it happened.
Yeah,
and then I think the people, and I agree on this side, that were upset that the former Marine Paul Whelan didn't get, wasn't able to come home, but she was someone who is a former Marine.
Right.
It's an interesting topic, and again,
1 minute,
and a lot of it has to do with what type of publications, what type of news networks you read. But there was a poll that did ask this question, like I just said: do you think the criticism Brittany Griner faces for receiving this award is warranted or unwarranted? And depends on where you go, but a huge percentage, almost 60%, 70%, said highly warranted.
Yeah, and because of the circumstantial scenario she put herself into.
Yeah,
and that's and then I guess I think of heroes in a different manner.
I think most of us do.
Yeah,
I guess the editor of the Arizona Republic doesn't feel that.
Yeah, and that's.
And I know those scribes are going to fight me on this. So we have a couple that come on our show that lean more left than right, and vice versa, and they would probably make an argument why Brittany Griner made sense.
Sure, and
I really will have trouble taking that.
Yeah,
because I think if I polled 100 people right now where we're at today doing our show, I would say 95% would not agree with her being the so-called person of the year.
Yeah, you got to really break it down as to true hero versus and her. They should have never held her over there, but there's some surrounding circumstances while she was being held.
Hey, we're going to catch up. Big wild card weekend in the National Football League. We'll go unfiltered, uncensored, as Sean Salisbury is scheduled to join us next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B here on Fox Sports 910.
Clear. Trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix.
10 losses in their last 12 for the Suns as they deal with the injury bug. Monty Williams and company getting ready for the T-Wolves in stop 3 of a 4-game road trip.
We won one game to start the trip. We lost one, so we got a chance to get above 500 on the trip and be a great opportunity, but we got to go step by step.
DeAndre Ayton will return from his ankle sprain. Ravens Director of Player Personnel Joe Ortiz and Titans Director of Player Personnel Monty Ossenfort both reportedly having their GM interviews with the Cardinals today. The team also requesting a head coaching interview with Steelers assistant and former Dolphins coach Brian Flores. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
The football postseason is here, and you can still win Twin Peaks Man cards just by playing Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's weekly Fan Pick'em contest. Head to fanpick'em.com and get in your weekly picks for your chance at weekly man cards. Thanks to Twin Peaks, Coors Light, and Blue Moon. Don't forget to stop by one of the 4 Valley Twin Peaks locations to watch all the playoff action.
Hey, it's Gross. Join me, Bauer, and Jackson every Saturday from 11 to 1 live from the Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona for Take the Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar.
Sun Devil men's basketball is better in person. Catch the Sun Devils when they return to Desert Financial Arena to face the nationally ranked UCLA Bruins Thursday, January 19th. And enjoy Kevin Shiflett, the chin balancer, at halftime. The USC Trojans come to court Saturday, January 21st to close out the weekend. Get your tickets today by calling 480-965-5812 or go online to sundeviltickets.com. Sun Devil men's basketball, onward to victory.
Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do. But not many dealers can compete on customer satisfaction. Like Wright Toyota. Make the right choice. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. Just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard. And online at wrighttoyota.com. Make plans for the big one Sunday, February 12th at either the Showroom in Casino, Arizona or the Ballroom and Talking Stick Resort. Win cash just for watching the big game, as this year marks Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B as the 22nd consecutive season. Doors open at 2. First come, first serve. Just be 21 or older. It's the big game viewing parties with tons of cash and giveaways. See you on February 12th at either Casino, Arizona or Talking Stick Resort.
The NFL playoff picture is locked in, and your go-to place for wildcard round action is DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. To kick off the road to Super Bowl 57, new customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly. Plus, all new and existing customers can get a no-sweat bet each day of the wild card round this weekend. Just place any NFL bet of your choice, and if it loses,
that logo's
you'll
funny.
get a free bet back.
Your life.
Sean Salisbury joins us now on the right Toyota guest side. Hey, making out on this Friday, buddy. What's going on? Let's get right into this. Friday the 13th, man. Will you go to a movie on a Friday the 13th?
I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. I mean, I'm not afraid. I mean, I'm not worried about it. I don't get caught up into the superstitious part of this. Now, I'm obsessive compulsive and superstitious about certain things, but not about the actual day you're supposed to be superstitious about.
Okay.
I didn't even think about it. So yeah, no, I don't have a problem going to the movie. I don't think I have one on the docket because we're not getting many of them out, man, that are eye popping. And I'll see a lot of movies, even if they're not, but there's not a lot of them that draw you to the theater right now, even though I go regardless.
Was there anything you did on game days, either in college or in the pros, that was kind of superstitious?
Pretty much everything. I would eat the same thing weekly. You guys can hear me clearly, correct?
Yeah, I got you great. Yep, you're good.
Sure. Yeah, okay. I would eat this like steak and some fruit for breakfast.
Okay.
Day. I would leave my hotel at the exact same time game day. I would shower in the morning when I woke up, but I would also I like to shower when I got to the facility to get myself up and going. I went out of the locker room. I had like a weight box. I would go out of the locker room at the same time to warm up. I would go through the same routine. I'll never, to this day, my right ankle has never been taped before my left ankle.
Wow.
My left leg has never gone in. To this day, when I put on jeans or sweats, I never put the right leg in first. Ever.
Interesting.
It's always left. I work left to right all the time when it's shirt, pants, socks. I would actually, if my right shoe would have come off, I probably on the sidelines would have. I could tell you it's happened. I would have put my left shoe back on, then had to take my right shoe off and put it back on and tie it so that one was on last.
Sean,
that was my routine. So there's plenty of them. Yeah.
There's therapy for you. You know that, don't they? Pay. You can pay.
Oh, I know. Listen, I should be. I am. My shirts line up the same way. Now, listen. Some of it. Here's what I do. I try to get obsessive compulsive about not being obsessive compulsive. I remember I've been like this forever when it comes to like routine. My dad used to say, "Boy, I don't know how you get through a day with all that burden you're carrying around of the constant." I used to warm up. I can think back to when I was like 9 or 10, driving my bike to school and taking the same route all the time but it was on purpose. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I've gotten better. But a lot of times what you do is you'll get rid of one and replace it with the other, right?
Uh-huh.
So routine-wise, I try, but I do have a lot of it in me. And, yes, I know there is help for it. I'm not sure, though, by the end of the meeting that I wouldn't have him or her on the couch and me have to help them psychologically because my obsessive compulsive. Yet things that people are really like I'm like when it comes to cooking and cleaning, I'm like obsessive. And like I said, colored shirt, the shirt colors in my closet, reds with red, whites with white, golf shirts are lined up. The collars are lined up the same way. I'll never go to bed with like a pair of shoes, like where the left one's on the wrong side of the right one in the middle of my floor in my bedroom.
What a loaded question! What a loaded question I just
Even
had with Sean. Jeez.
Yeah, that's it could do. We could be. You want to have a session?
Yeah.
I could be here forever. Yet, you know what? Most people, like if you hung around me, like you guys know me, you probably wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's kind of just for me. But there are times I look at myself and I think, dude, nothing's going to happen to your life if you don't put on the right shoe first. Yeah, dude. I actually think at times it probably hampered my career. Like, oh, Sean, you threw one pick. Well, you like the number 3. Are you supposed to throw 3 of them so you feel better about yourself? And I'm a numbers guy. Honestly, I'm not turning off the TV when if it's not a 3 or 9. I mean, like, and I'm like the volume on my truck. I'll set it to a certain volume that I like. But if it's like 13, I will never get out of the truck. And you're talking about the 13th that doesn't bother me. I would never get out of my truck with it on the volume on 13 when I got out because that's bad luck. Yet it's Friday the 13th, and I don't give a fuzzy rat's ass. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, that's me, man. Yeah.
All right. You're the voice in Houston, and there is this chase for Sean Payton. Where's he going? Because of course Phoenix wants him, Houston wants him, Denver wants him. Who knows? Maybe Carolina. Where do you think he's going?
The only reason he'd come here, guys, would be to Houston is because all the assets, all the salary cap. But
yeah,
I think he wants to control more of the front office. And here, he won't be able to bring Jeff Ireland, or if that's who he wants to bring. I think Arizona's open because now both situations are open. But other ones, I think you have to make a convincing argument to get him to go somewhere. And obviously you're going to have to trade for him anyway, but like Denver, to work with that general manager because he's in a position where he can pretty much dictate that. So the reason he's not coming here is, first off, I don't think he wants to deal with dysfunction. Now, if it was his only offer, maybe, but I think you go back to broadcasting. I don't think Sean wants to go to a team he's got to rebuild, which may take a minute, especially if Drew Brees isn't on his team. Now, they're going to get a quarterback if they want him, but that may take 2 or 3 years. I think he'd like to go. I think he probably believes he can fix Russ Wilson quicker than he can fix a roster that's 18 players shy, right? So not here. And he's going to coach. But now the question is, like in Arizona, does he believe that, does Kyler Murray and the perceived or the organization talking about, well, having to put the clause in his contract about preparation, that sure seems like a wrong mix for a guy that loves preparation, right? Mm-hmm. And he likes bigger quarterbacks, yet he worked with Drew Brees, who was smaller. I mean, Sean's got some quirks too, and I understand, but you would have to convince him that I think the quarterback matters. If the Chargers' job was open, let's say they get curb stomped against Jacksonville, and all of a sudden Spanos says, you know what? I was going to fire him if they didn't get to the playoffs, so they got beat and embarrassed. And that job, let's say it came open with Herbert, the talent, Los Angeles. I think the job, I think the recruitment would be over. I think he'd take that job tomorrow. So I think somebody's going to have to make him an offer. But Denver's got the best roster. The question is Russ Wilson, is he now just a guy, or can he make him a better guy when he's there at $245 million? Quarterback's going to matter to him, as is people that he can work shoulder to shoulder with.
Sean, the rookie or young quarterbacks into the playoffs this weekend, obviously with Brock Purdy with the 49ers, you got Trevor Lawrence, his first go-around with the Jags, and then you got Skylar Thompson, ex-K-State Wildcat. He's going to step up against the Bills, and then you look at the Ravens. Hell, it could be Hundley, it could be Brown. What advice does one Sean Salisbury give these young men going into their very first playoff game?
Well, to Skylar Thompson, no disrespect to your Kansas State team, say 3 prayers and prepare for your off season because you ain't beating Buffalo and Buffalo, brother.
Right.
Sorry, but I wouldn't tell him that. I'd say, you know what? Drop back, throw it to the open guy, let it rip, and realize you're going to face adversity. That's what I tell them all. With a guy Brock Purdy, your guy, Manuch, I would simply say, do what you're doing, dude.
Yeah.
I know it's the intensity of the playoffs, but you got great weapons. You're throwing 11 touchdowns against a couple picks. You're 5-0. Hell, you're playing like a guy who's been in it. While the intensity goes up, you don't have to change anything. You're going to get defense. It's going to get you the ball. And I would never tell him, just don't turn it over. I'd say, dude, if you like it, let it rip. So with him, Baltimore, obviously it's up and down. And with a guy like, what rookie am I missing? Skyler, him.
And Brown, the kid for the Ravens. If he
yeah,
plays.
well, I would also say to them that since Lamar and Tua are playing, you probably, I would say the 2 easiest pass, although it's never easy, Cincinnati and Buffalo are moving on this round of the playoffs. Now, with even young quarterbacks who haven't been in the situation, even though he's not young, Daniel Jones,
yes,
with this intensity.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Your guy Brock, he just goes, Geno Smith hasn't been a starter. There's a lot of NFC guys
yes,
that are like, I'll tell you who's under the most pressure is the dude in Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
Prescott now.
I agree.
Because the expectations are high. He's going to a team they're supposed to beat, yet it's Brady and it's January, and we know how that turns out for opposing teams most of the time. So I think Dak's facing the most pressure, and I actually think some of these, like Brock, will be relaxed and let it go, but we're going to get a great feel for how he goes. He's got the best roster. All he's got to do is do what he's been doing without worrying about the fact that it's January, and I think the 49ers have a legitimate chance to be playing in your city in another month or so.
Can Tampa Bay, who's on absolute vapor, and you talk about Brady, they are on vapor. Can he pull it out, that last drive? I'm kind of banking on that last drive against the Cowboys, who are on vapor right now, too. Who can get across the finish line with no gas in the tank is what I'm asking you.
I'm really intrigued with both 4 and 5 matchups, the Chargers in Jacksonville and this one. I think that you don't have to even tell me that. I don't even know if it's coming down to the last drive. Tampa Bay's winning that game. Cowboys are going home. Tampa Bay, even though they haven't been very good and they are on paper, they're getting healthier. The key is, I'll just put it to you this way. If he's upright, and you'll know early if the ball's coming out and they're not hitting him, and you don't let a guy like Michael Parsons wreck the game, you tell me who you trust more, Brady or Prescott, regardless of their records right now. If the game's on the line, you're going with number 12 in Tampa. So if they're in it, I think they're
1 minute.
I think Tampa's moving on to the second round. I don't trust the Cowboys, and while I like Dak, you cannot lead the league in interceptions more than one a game and have missed 5 games. You can't do it, and he's going to be gripping it. If he's playing well, the Cowboys are a better team, but I'm just telling you, don't let the Tampa Bay Buccaneers start to feel good about themselves. If the quarterback's protected, Tampa Bay is going to win. I have no issue that Brady's going to play well in this game. People dogged him all year long. He threw for almost 4,700 yards.
Yeah.
In what would we consider a crappy year for him, 4,600 plus. So I like Tampa, and I'm not so sure Jacksonville's not going to take care of the Chargers as well.
Real quick,
really,
30.
That's going to be a fun quarterback game.
Sean, real quick, 15 seconds. If that happens, Tampa Bay wins. McCarthy out, or is he in for another year?
Jerry says he's out. I'm not buying it. Just I don't think that the Chargers job or the Cowboys job, if they get beat ugly and the coach has something to do with it, I think that they'll revisit that and evaluate it. I don't think either one of them are safe with a loss this week.
He's Sean Salisbury, unfiltered, uncensored. Sean, have a great weekend, man. Thanks for the time as always.
Appreciate it, fellas. Thank you.
Sean Salisbury joining us. Didn't know he was so OCD.
Yeah.
Wow. He's driven by All City Towing. All City Towing continues to hire for full-time positions and part-time positions. Joe, just go to the website, allcitytowing.com. That's allcitytowing.com. Well, speaking of OCD and superstitious issues that some people have, I have some myths on Friday the 13th that I'm going to share next. Some Friday the 13th myths, as it is the 13th. And it only happens twice this year. I believe it's this month in October.
That's true.
We'll continue on. We're at Wright Toyota. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910. Right.
There we go. You're live.
That's right. Friday the 13th. By the way, tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is up to an estimated, I think it's 1.4 billion now. It was 1.35 this morning.
Yep.
But if you're superstitious, here's some lucky and unlucky facts about the drawing.
Okay.
Now, over the past 5 years, the most commonly drawn number is 14. It's been drawn 9.7% of all the drawings since 2017. The numbers, and this take this down, and I'll do it twice.
I'm writing this down.
The numbers 17, 10, 13. Oh, wait, no, let me say, well, geez. Let me start over. The numbers are 17, 10, 31.
Oh, 31.
Not 13. My Friday 13 is in my head.
Yeah, 31.
38 are the most common.
Really?
So
Wow.
17, 10, 31, and 38. The least drawn numbers, these are your lucky numbers, don't use them. 49 and 51. They're only drawn 4.6% of the time. The other numbers that are not common, 50, 35, and 55. Now, by the way, I want to say something. If you're writing these numbers down and you use these numbers, we expect a commission.
Absolutely.
All right. 17, 10, 31, and 38. And 14 down there too, because that's number one.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, when it comes to just the mega ball, the most commonly drawn numbers are 22, 11, and 9. The least of the mega balls are 8, 7, and 5. So with the mega ball, 22, 11, and a 9. Again, if you use those numbers, we expect a commission check.
Absolutely.
Now, the most overdue number is 5, which hasn't been drawn since March 18th, 2022.
Metrics with the Powerball and Mega Millions right now. Incredible.
As for the states with the most jackpot winners, I think it makes sense because of population. New York is one, followed by California and New Jersey.
Yeah, I think the last, was it Mega or Powerballs, the 1.2 billion was in California.
So let me read this to you one more time in a commission check. 17, 10, 31, 38, and 14. Again, 14 is drawn almost 10% of the time since 2017. Stay away from 49, stay away from 51, 50, 35, and 55. And then for the mega ball, 22, 11, and 9.
I'm just going to use 10, 14, 17, 31, 38 from here on out. I mean, if I don't win it this time, those are my numbers from here until, because when I hit this bad boy, I'll think of you two guys, Jax, you and Rock.
Well, I don't want you to think. Well, I just want you to give.
Well, we'll be giving. Yeah, right. We'll definitely be giving. There will be.
So if you won $1 million, honestly, if you won $1 million,
$1 million,
$1 million,
yeah,
that's that you walk with $1 million. So
right.
say if you won 1.8 after taxes,
sure. $1 million,
you're already at that high bracket.
Net.
So so you're already taking 50% of you right now.
Well,
right?
they are.
Former NFL player, big win.
Yeah, right.
So
so much money.
So you walk with $1 million.
Okay.
You use the numbers I gave you.
Yeah.
Jax, you have nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
I gave you the numbers.
Sure.
How much can I expect that I would get for giving you the numbers to help you win $1 million?
Easy. A 10% commission.
I get $100,000.
You get $100,000. 10% commission.
You can shake on it?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
Power. The thing went off. It's back now. You there, Rich?
No, we're probably off.
Just connected.
Connect again. You don't need to reset it, right?
Oh. Hold on.
Right when you guys shook
be
on
good
it.
radio,
Right
right?
when you shook on
it. That's running, right?
Yeah.
This is good.
This is great.
It's really good.
Right when
Because then I'm going to get right into my Friday the 13th stuff.
Okay.
That is awesome.
That was crazy.
If we come back on air. We don't come back on air, the thing's going to suck. What a bit.
Richie's like,
Cash. It's Fox Sports
All right,
910's Rock
Richie,
and
you there?
Manuch with Jimmy
Yep.
B.S. Big
Yes.
Game
All right.
Viewing Parties
You get
at
us
both
right
in
back?
the showroom at Casino Arizona and in the
Just for a quick
Ballroom
minute.
at Talking Stick Resort.
I can, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna tell you what happened.
From the music you love to the
All right, yeah, hang on a
podcasts you
second.
can't live without. And only the iHeartRadio app has it all for free. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
You're live.
All right, so what just happened has never happened before.
Ever.
So in the last minute, Manuch and I shook hands on a 10% commission I get if he wins $1 million on the Mega tonight.
And the numbers you gave me.
And the numbers I gave you.
Yes.
As we were shaking hands on video, or on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter, we went off the air. Literally went off the air. The power from our equipment at Wright Toyota shut off.
And it was on. It was all on.
It's got to be a Friday the 13th thing.
That was absolutely crazy.
There's no
Right
way.
when you shook hands, it just powered
Literally
off.
shook hands and we powered off.
That's going on Twitter.
That
right now.
is
I will be
totally
posting that.
amazing that happened. That was like,
Oh
okay,
my goodness.
okay, we respect the Superstition 13, okay, but we're not going to buy into it.
If you're not
All right.
superstitious, I don't know, man.
That
I
was
am
odd.
now.
It just,
Especially if we win.
oh, yeah. Oh, that would be great.
1 minute.
Yeah, that was
Wow.
weird. I mean, it just went down. We went over to it, and it went back. It's the weirdest thing.
My stomach's turning. I hit my
Wow.
stomach. That was screwed up.
You need to say a couple hard
By the way, if you don't care about bad luck and you're just hungry, Wendy's is giving out free French fries today with any order, and I think McDonald's is doing it too. So Friday
I get it.
on the 13th.
Can't believe that happened, Rob.
Wow.
That was incredible.
I got it.
Go walk around a little
Yeah, I need it.
bit. Take a deep breath.
Shot of Jack.
We're good.
That noise, too. That noise.
What was that all about?
That was harsh.
Oh, hour 2's coming up at the Roc and Manuch. Right to it.
Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In Iraq and need a check? Make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900 and always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. on Fox Sports 910.
Good Friday the 13th to you. Roc and Manuch with you today. We're out here at Wright Toyota where you won't go wrong, WrightToyota.com. We are excited as of yesterday. Talking Stick Resort made a big announcement that myself, Manuch, and Jimmy B will be hosting the big game viewing party with special guests Bo Jackson, Doug Flutie, and D'Angelo Williams. This is going to be a heck of an afternoon. Huge TV screens, food and drink specials. You'll be able to win cash with our quarter squares and prop games. Plus, you'll be part of the kickoff progressive jackpot, which is going to start at $4,000. Tickets are $25 in advance, $35 at the door, which I don't expect any to be available at the door. Will most likely sell out in advance. Tickets can be purchased right now at Ticketmaster.com. So don't miss being part of the big game viewing party at Talking Stick Resort on February 12th. Again, tickets can be purchased for just $25 to hang out and watch the big game along with Bo Jackson and Doug Flutie and D'Angelo Williams and yours truly. So we hope that you'll make plans to join us on the 12th. Now, if you don't want to pay to join us, we totally understand. We'll have 1,200 people of our 1,200 friends of ours that'll be in this huge Salt River Ballroom. You can join Jax and Mike Gross and Mike Bauer, who will be hosting the big game in the showroom in Casino, Arizona. That's where we began all this 22 years ago. So the showroom, it'll be free, but everything else will be the same. We'll have the food and drink specials. We'll have the quarters. We'll have the props. We'll have the jackpot at $4,000 too. So just the jackpot alone is $8,000 at both locations. So combined. So they'll be doing everything that we're doing. It's just no cover charge. And I believe you can hold about 150, 200 people in the showroom. So that'll be a first come, first serve to get in there. And any carryover, if you don't get in there, the good thing is too, if you are going to go to the McKellips location, you at least have the CAZ Sports Bar as well to dabble in if you cannot get into the showroom.
Very good, Roc.
Again, Ticketmaster.com for that. Let's get to the top stories of the hour, which are brought to you by the new Sportsbook in the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. The Suns will be at it tonight. They are in the Twin Cities to take on the Timberwolves. Phoenix has split the first two on their current road trip. They fell in Denver on Wednesday, and they beat Golden State the night before. They have lost 10 of their last 12. Overall, they are 21-22 on the season. Wolves, very similar. They're 20-22 on the season. Game time decision for DeAndre Ayton. We'll see. Landry Shamet is hopefully going to return as well. Just not sure when. If they've lost the last two in this road trip.
Well, they just need the bodies out there, and they can weather the storm until they get back here. And they got a Martin Luther King Day. Got a tough game on the road in Memphis. Last time the Suns played Memphis, they pretty much shut them down, blew the doors out. But it's just at this point, all hands on deck. Hopefully, DA plays tonight, and if not tonight, he plays on Monday. And then from that standpoint, just getting CP3 back, hopefully within a week, and then campaign. A lot of issues there. Hopefully, he gets back early next week as well, too.
You know, you would look at the calendar and you would see this game on it. Okay, January 13th, they're in Minnesota. This is a win.
You would think?
Yeah. You totally would think this is a win, but
well, they gave him hard.
Not right now.
I remember with last year, Minnesota gave him some struggles on the road. But, you just I think with this makeshift lineup with Mikal Bridges is the only true starter in the lineup until DA gets back in there. I think Monty Williams is just going to do the old size matchup thing. And if they can play like they did, the other night when they won against Golden State, you get that kind of energy, that kind of defense, that kind of rebounding out of your team. Then you got a good shot at winning tonight and on Monday night. That's the emphasis for them is their defense, their rebounding.
The latest skid for the Coyotes continues. They've lost 7 in a row now. They got beat by the Senators last night, 5-3. They have yet to post a win in 2023. Now, it's only 13 days, but still, they haven't won yet. They'll hit the road. They'll visit Minnesota tomorrow, and then they got Winnipeg on Sunday before returning home. So some back-to-backs, which are always hard, a Saturday, Sunday, and then they'll be back here. Some news on the national level. Sean McVay has informed the Rams organization that he will remain the team's head coach, according to ESPN. It comes days after an end-of-the-season news conference where he said he would take the appropriate time to make a decision and figure out the best way to continue moving forward. And it sounded as though a lot of the talk was he just didn't want to be part of a rebuild.
Yeah, and I think that it's just talk. I think it's just frustration. Hell, you won the Super Bowl last year, and you're fortunate to win a couple of games this last year. You lose your starting quarterback, you lose your starting
wide
receiver,
your defensive tackle.
I mean, it just it's like a lot of teams. I mean, the perfect storm hit. The perfect storm for them last year was everybody was healthy, and they won the Super Bowl. This year, it just goes to show you, with a lot of your main guys are out, key guys are out, but he still won a couple of key games at the end of the year. But again, and the whole thing with Baker Mayfield, guys, for him to bring him in for a few games and have that offense firing fairly decent was pretty incredible, talking about the kind of coach that he is and dealing with Baker Mayfield.
Found out today Mike Williams, wide receiver for the Chargers, has a small fracture in his back, and he's expected to be on the sideline for a couple weeks. Small fracture. Only out 2 weeks?
Yeah,
2 weeks.
I
if
hear
the
that
Chargers are still playing, which I don't know if they will be.
You wonder if the Chargers will get a call from the National Football League going, can you explain this small crack that Mike Williams has?
Non-surgical.
So maybe
fracture.
It's a slight fracture that if he can tolerate the pain. I know a lot of guys have had small fractures. If they can tolerate the pain and you get the proverbial shot in wherever your foot, your neck, and you can go out and play. But the key is if it's a small fracture where there's no spinal, not the spinal cord, but there's no nerves in the area, that'll cause a lot of damage. So if they can survive these next couple weeks, and maybe he's ready for the AFC Championship game if they get that far.
We had talked a little bit earlier about Brittany Griner being the statesperson of the year, and there's been some criticism if it's warranted or not warranted. She does now, I'm told, is good. Her story is going to be told in a comic book form called Female Force, Brittany Griner. It's going to detail her rise to stardom at Baylor, her career in the WNBA, and then her legal situation is what they're calling it. Her legal situation in 2022. Of course, she was arrested. Okay, so interesting. She didn't wait long to tap into making some money.
Well, capitalize.
That's
strike when the iron's hot, right, Rock? Strike when you can. The legal situation, the containment, you mean?
There's going to be so much backlash on this. It's going to be released on the 18th of this month. So 5 days. It'd be print and it's going to be digital. The right is going to have a field day with this.
I can imagine, and I think,
and rightfully so.
The one thing I think for everybody's trials and tribulations before the legal scenario, if she can help young girls or people, it'd be an inspiration in that part.
Okay.
But then the thing you got to explain why you were legally contained. There's that portion as well too. That whoever reads the book, the young students or student athletes, whoever's got to understand that. I hope she takes some responsibility for that. And I think she did. She has.
When did she get released?
It's been about a month, 6 weeks ago, 4 to 5, 6 weeks ago.
Can you write a book in that in 5 to 6 weeks?
Well, she probably got home and said, "I need to go."
When did she start writing this?
Well, she might have been starting her memoirs in prison when she was over there in Russia. I mean, I don't know if they're allowed laptops or. I don't think there's not a lot of anything, but just
I really doubt there was a laptop. She had a laptop.
Well, she had a pencil and paper.
In a Russian
hey, and a bottle of vodka.
Yeah, I'm in the gulag. You guys got any laptops I could use? I'm sure she had pencil and paper to occupy her time. Besides the chores she was having, some of the chores she defined as far as doing the laundry and doing this and doing that. And they had her working. They had Brittany Griner grinding away. That is definitely for sure. Sorry, Jax, I could resist.
Still a lot of talk on what's going to happen with Sean Payton. According to Ian Rappaport, he joined Pat McAfee, today on his show and discussed Sean Payton and the Cardinals. And Richie, the man, actually has some sound he can throw us in regards to what he said regarding Sean Payton as a pretty legit candidate for the Arizona Cardinals.
As far as the Sean Payton, he has 3 requests right now. He has the Texans, the Cardinals, and the Broncos. The Broncos are going to be Tuesday, presumably the other 2 after that. He is a strong candidate at all those places. I think, and I didn't, so going into this, I would have said, I don't know if Sean Payton would go to the Cardinals. Now I think it's pretty legit. Like,
really?
Yeah. Like, both them and the Texans have kind of undercover pretty good opportunities because Kyler is different.
10 quarterbacks.
Sean Payton's different too, and maybe that works. And he is a great coach and will no doubt give some accountability to Kyler Murray and make sure of it.
Ian Rappaport on the Pat McAfee show today.
McAfee's like, you mentioned the Cardinals. What?
Really?
What? The Cardinals? What?
You wonder, he was on Sean Payton was on with the Herd and Colin Cowherd Herd. I think it was in November. And, he had revealed, and a lot of people knew this already, but he went public that, he was a ball boy for the St. Louis Cardinals. He kind of grew up in the early 80s, kind of working with this team. So, sure, he had a lot of run-ins with this team, not to a level of, he's hanging out having a soda with Mr. Bidwell.
He's
back then,
familiar with the family,
but knows the family, I'm sure. So, maybe there is something there.
I really believe the intrigue for a Sean Payton who's been there and done that is, okay, let me look at the quarterback situation. Number one, what's my personnel? How much do we have to build or rebuild? Number two, the money's there. Whoever he goes, the money's going to be there. Compensation aside, and whatever that compensation is given away, if the Cardinals give away the draft choices or Houston or Denver, okay, so what's he going to be left with? And who's the general manager he's got to deal with? The Cardinals don't have a general manager, so maybe it makes it more attractive that he can help instill some of his thoughts and some of his ways of developing a team with that new general manager versus the Sean Irelands or the Jeff Irelands of the world in Houston, the general manager, I forget his name, escapes me, in Denver, that he can work and coordinate that with. Because Sean Payton's in the driver's seat, I feel, Rock, that he pretty much can kind of dictate if it all matches and the two teams can agree on compensation for him and he gets that money that he gets. All right, now he can put his stamp on something, but it all got to start with the quarterback. And you got one in Russell Wilson who really took a step back. And then you got Kyler Murray, who's still, he's hot, he's cold, he's hot, he's cold. How can he deal with him? Not about him being a short quarterback like Drew Brees, is what can the kid do that was similar to some of the things that Drew Brees did in New Orleans?
Shopping for a well, big banks, they can be a big hassle. Call GC Global Capital. They're a licensed and bonded mortgage broker in the state of Arizona. Work with a local team of mortgage experts for lower rates, lower fees, more options, and faster closings. Whatever the rate you're getting at the bank, GC Global Capital will beat it. It's better rate, better service, lower payments. They have less overhead. That's why they can get you a better rate. Check it out. Call the pros at GC Global Capital. Their phone number is 480-397-9300. Buy now before the frenzy starts all over again. Find out how much you would be approved if you went to buy a house today, as you can find out what you can buy and get approved in less than 10 minutes. Values have come down over 10%, making it a great time to buy. Call Global Capital now at 480-397-9300. That's 397-9300. Your local mortgage professionals, GC Global Capital. Coming up, Manuch's Clipboard. He will preview the Super NFL Wild Card Weekend as we continue on from Wright Toyota. This is Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B here on Fox Sports 910.
Thursday, January 19th. And enjoy Kevin Shiflett, the chin balancer, at halftime. The USC Trojans come to Nedwell Court Saturday, January 21st to close out the weekend. Get your tickets today by calling 480-965-5812 or go online to sundevil.tickets.com. Sun Devil men's basketball, onward to victory.
Are you looking to get into the best shape of your life or looking to offer your son or daughter the best training in Arizona? Then listen up. Dan Manucci for the new Cocoa 5 Performance Center at Bell Bank Park in Mesa. The state-of-the-art Performance Center is a 25,000 square foot facility and is home to sports performance for teams, individuals, combine prep, and professional athletes. And now, the new home where I coach my quarterback. 80 yards of indoor turf and track along with an outside turf workout area, plus tons of squat and bench stations, along with world-class training equipment. And they have the best team of coaches in the Southwest led by Olympic gold medal winner Dan O'Brien. If you or your son or daughter are ready to take the next step by gaining more speed, agility, power, and flexibility, then you need to check out the Cocoa 5 Performance Center at Bell Bank Park. Sign up by calling 480-572-0647, and one of their team members will create an individualized program specific to your needs. That's 480-572-0647 or online at legacyperformanceaz.com. For limited time, if you mention me, Dan Manucci, they'll give you your first session on me. That's legacyperformanceaz.com.
Let me guess. Unknown caller? You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
Francisco for the NFC West showdown with the 49ers. The Chargers also on the road playing the Jags. That's the night game. And then on Sunday, Dolphins head to Orchard Park. Will square off against the Bills. Meanwhile, Giants travel to the Vikings later in the day. And then the nightcap will feature the AFC North clash between the Bengals and the Ravens in Cincinnati. And then the weekend will conclude actually on Monday night with the Cowboys and the Bucks in Tampa, as Tom Brady is beginning his quest for his 8th Super Bowl ring, and he has not lost to the Dallas Cowboys. So, Manuch is going to break them down. We'll start with the 2:30 game, which is the Seahawks at the 49ers on Fox. Here's Christian McCaffrey talking about the greatness in Manuch's pupil, Brock Purdy.
Noticed right away that he was somebody who cared a lot. Not that, that sounds a little bit weird, as the NFL and everyone cares, but there was another level of urgency that I saw in him, that even though he was, the third string quarterback coming into this year, he knew that he could play. He had a confidence in himself. He had a confidence in his ability to learn and understand. And he gave me a lot of tips that, I didn't know that were not written on the sheets, that were kind of game plan specific tips. And so I was once again just appreciative of that, and I saw greatness in him right there.
Yeah, it's interesting because Brock worked with him, guys, on the side fields when he came in. Remember, he only had 3 days of prep. So Brock was over there going through all the entire playbook, going through all the plays for that game plan, and giving him those kind of tips that he has. So they love him for taking an extra time. And when I look at this game, guys, I just think the Niners have too many weapons. The best defense in the National Football League. I think that Kyle Shanahan, with his experience in big games, especially a Super Bowl with Atlanta and the San Francisco 49ers game, has learned very valuable lessons as far as running a game and running an offense. And the other thing I think, too, the run game will protect the inexperience of Brock Purdy in the playoffs. I really like this. I like the 49ers in this game. I think it'll be a really close game initially because Pete Carroll and his defense, they're going to be game. You got the other side of the ball for this Seattle team, and you look at Geno and what he can do as a veteran quarterback. But I like the Niners. I like the play calling, and then just the valuable weapons, whether it's raining or windy or not. I think this Niners game will win going away late in that game. I think third or fourth quarter they'll start to pick it up.
Saturday night game on Channel 12 will be the Chargers at the Jags. That thing will kick off at 6:15. Two very young quarterbacks who are going to go at it. They both respect each other. Here's Justin Herbert on Trevor Lawrence.
Just that I've got a lot of respect for his game and what he's been able to accomplish. The NFL is a tough game, and he's been able to pick it up so quickly. And we've watched as much as we can of him and pick up whatever you can. But he's an incredible athlete. Sounds like a great teammate, great locker room guy. So a ton of respect for him.
You look at this game. The Chargers have the weapons, right? But the Jags have the experience of your former coach, Rock, over there at Philadelphia, Doug Peterson, as a head coach. They're playing with a big run game, and defense is really stepping up. And the thing that you look at with the young quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, he's really, really come alive here the last half of the season, taking care of the football. Definitely take care of the football. I like the Jags winning this game in a low-scoring game. You look at the home field advantage, the experience of Doug Peterson, and I look at the growth of one Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to take the Jags over the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm on the Chargers on this one, so I'm going to lean on that. But again, Scott Spreitzer from DocSports.com is going to join us in about 10 minutes to break all these games from a handicap standpoint. Let's move to Sunday. The Bills host the Dolphins. No 2-hour. Game will start at 11 o'clock on CBS 5. Here's Alan talking about this week is Alan, this week is a 1-week season.
It's one week season from here on out. It's win or go home. We understand that. At the end of the day, come Sunday, it's the only thing that matters is scoring more points than the other team. So, trying to have a good week of practice, putting our best foot forward, making sure that we're holding ourselves to our own standard, and obviously taking it day by day, but, everything that we're doing is in hopes to win on Sunday.
Bills quarterback Josh Allen. I call it emotion, and then emotion, especially with the DeMar Hamlin situation behind him now. He's at home. That'll play a very big part in this game. But I will say this. The one thing that the Bills are starting to get short of is their defense. And if Micah Hyde played, questionable or not, but Josh Allen will not allow this team to lose. I hate to say it, with rookie quarterback Skylar Thompson, former K-State Wildcat, being the starting quarterback. I think the Bills come out. They put the emotion on this Dolphins team and get all over Skylar Thompson. I like the Bills winning this game, winning it big.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't even need to comment on that. Next game, 2:30 on Fox 10, Giants at Vikings. Here's Daniel Jones on preparing for his first ever playoff game.
Yeah, I think it means a lot. I think it means a lot to all of us. A lot of guys who've been here these past few years, and to be on the other side of it means a lot. But it's about what we do now from this point on, and how we how we handle this opportunity, how we prepare, and ultimately how we play, how we execute on Sunday. So we're certainly happy we are where we are, but there's a lot more we got to do, a lot more work left for us.
Very low-key approach by Daniel Jones in preparing for this game. And you really think about that. I love the balance and discipline of the Giants this year. Daniel Jones steady with a great running game. And I really feel, guys, I'm going to say this. I think that the Giants get too much defense and the uncertain play of Kirk Cousins. I like this. I like the Giants on the turf of the Minnesota Vikings. Upset Minnesota Vikings.
If you feel that way, why didn't you take the Giants yesterday in an underdog report or underdog picks?
Because I just felt better with Tampa Bay being taking that underdog. They're
you took the Ravens.
You took the
Ravens. I took the Ravens. Yeah, I took the Ravens.
So speaking of the Ravens, they're at the Bengals, 6:15. That's the night game. Here's Joe Burrow on that tough Ravens D.
They're a really good defense, and they know what we try to do on offense. We know what they try to do on defense, and so they try to take away our bread and butter stuff, and they're pretty good at it. We play them a lot. And they have a really good defensive coordinator that makes it tough on you out there. And so we've, got to find some ways to find some explosive plays and stay efficient and keep moving the ball down the field. And I think we have a good game plan to do that.
Yeah, they're hot right now. That being the Cincinnati Bengals, as Joe Burrow said. But it's a stout offense. But again, it's the Ravens' defense which will keep them in the game with the two young quarterbacks. And I could see this being a lot of field goals. I could see this being one of those games where field goal wins this game at the end only because of the Ravens' defense.
All right, let's go to that Tampa Bay game. Host the Dallas Cowboys. That's the Monday night game on ESPN and ABC. Here's Jerry Jones. Says Dak Prescott's DNA is to not turn the ball over. I don't know if I'd question that.
No, I can be emphatic about that. I don't think so. It's in Dak's DNA not to turn the ball over. His famous story that I often repeat is that he said more often than not when his mother saw him in the kitchen, she'd say, "Remember, no turnovers." And so he's grown up thinking like that. So I have all the confidence in the world that he, as a player, has all the right balance of confidence or all the right balance of aggressiveness as it pertains to a turnover. He understands turnover better than all of us put together.
Well, Mama needs to give him a call, remind him about not turning the ball over because he is out of sorts right now with this offense. I really feel Tom Brady has enough weapons to win this game. Maybe it's the final drive of the game. They're both the Tampa Bay is 32nd in run game, 32nd in run scoring. They're out of sorts as well. But guy named Tom Brady, I see a low-scoring game, and this is another one of my upsets. I think Brady is going to take it to the Cowboys. Again, it might be a 17-13, 21-20 game, but I think it's one of those last drive of the game where Brady leads them down with his weapons, with Godwin and Evans and Fournette having a little bit left in the tank to cross the finish line and win this game.
I just don't find this as an upset if Tampa Bay wins.
Well, but
I mean, they're at home, all that experience. The Dallas Cowboys have been playing pretty bad of late.
That's that last game.
I mean, I'm surprised that they're even favored.
They're both kind of limping into the playoffs, are they not?
Well, Scott Spicer will break that down next from DocSports.com. Do remind you, if you are looking to enhance your backyard experience, how about a brand new patio grill set from our friends at Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light? You can win one right now by just texting PEAKS to 55678. That's PEAKS to 55678, and you'll be entered to win this customized backyard grill patio set that will be given away the week after the Super Bowl. You can enter once a day. Standard message and data rates apply. Again, that's PEAKS to 55678. So we'll continue talking about this wild card weekend. Don't make your bets until you hear from Scott Spreitzer next. We'll break it all down. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B here on Fox Sports 910.
premier handicappers. From DocSports.com and seen every week on ESPN Sunday Countdown, he's Scott Spreitzer. And he's here to help make sure your picks pay out with Roc and Manuch on Fox Sports 910.
All right, we're going to have to go quick today because we have 6 games. Typically, it's 4, but we want to get them in and give you the advice that hopefully will help you have a successful weekend. And Scott Spreitzer joins us, sports betting expert and part of DocSports.com. You can always follow him on Twitter at Scott Wins, and he joined now on the right to it, a guest sign. You ready to go, Scott? You ready?
I'm ready, man, and I'll be quick on the games that I'm not playing, so we'll just go through it like that so we can get to the good, juicy stuff.
Perfect. All right, Seattle and San Francisco, -10. Is that still the case? And are you playing this one?
9.5 for the most part. I am not playing this one, but it would be San Francisco or nothing. The Dolphins couldn't score. They couldn't do much through the air with Thompson against the Jets in Week 18, under 5 yards per pass attempt. 105 attempts in his rookie season. He's no Brock Purdy. 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. I don't like this quarterback. At the same time, when you're talking about laying 9.5, it gets a little shaky. Double-digit favorites have done well. Home favorites have done well in the wild card round over the last decade, but I've just decided to pass this game.
Let's go, Brock Purdy. We'll be rooting for him, that's for sure, Scott. All right, second game, the Chargers at the Jags. Last time I looked, it was -1.5 to the Chargers. 2 young quarterbacks going at it, but Doug Peterson, the head coach for the Jags, has got that Super Bowl experience in his pocket there, Scotty.
Yeah, and I want to really quickly say that I was thinking you asked me Miami, Buffalo. You asked me Seattle, San Francisco, and I was talking about a different quarterback.
Yeah, I was good. We didn't want to. You were on a roll. We didn't want to. We're like we knew it. I think we all knew what you were saying.
Yeah, we had you covered.
Geno Smith struggles against a defense that has 4 down linemen. That's what San Francisco does. That can get to the quarterback, but I'm passing that game.
Okay.
We'll get to the other guy, Thompson, when we get to that game the team that he plays for. As far as the Chargers and the Jaguars, yeah, I'm playing the over here, guys, and I know Mike Williams is out, but that total hasn't moved, which it usually doesn't for a good receiver. It's usually moved because of a quarterback, and there's all those reports about, Trevor Lawrence's toe and it's sore, but he's been on an injured list every week for the past 3 or 4 weeks, and he's done just fine with that total. But I do think this one goes over the total. I did play this one, and listen, the only thing I believe that's going to change from the first game that these two teams met early this season was the Chargers scoring more points this time. They had 10 in that 38-10 loss. The Jags want to run the football. James Robinson gained 100 yards on almost 6 per carry in that meeting. You got Etienne Jr., 1,100 plus yards, 5 yards per carry. The Chargers guys allow the 4th most rushing yards per game on a league high 5.5 yards per carry. They got torn up on the ground by Akers and Murray the last 2 weeks, almost 7 yards per carry combined. And then one final stat on this, because it is a game that I'm betting. Trevor Lawrence has a 66.3% completion rate this season. Went back and looked. The Chargers have allowed nearly 28 points per game the last 26 times that they faced an offense that completes at least 64% of its passes. Again, Lawrence does that. I'm going to play the over here, guys.
Okay, let's go to the one you mentioned, Dolphins at Bills, 13.5.
Yeah, it's a big line. They're obviously at 13.5. And as I mentioned, double-digit favorites have done well at home over the past decade. It's a little too steep for me. I do not trust Skylar Thompson for the reasons that I mentioned. It would be a play on Buffalo or nothing, guys, but I decided to pass this game.
Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. The Giants at the Vikings. Last time I looked, Vikings -3. And for me personally, run game, controlling the ball. Daniel Jones not turning the ball over. I'm going the Giants' way on this one, Scotty.
Yeah, I don't blame it. I was going to jump on the Giants, and I decided to go with the total instead. The real reason that I decided to avoid the Giants, and I wouldn't bet the Vikings here, is because when these teams met just a few weeks ago on Christmas Eve, the line was 4.5, and now it's 3. So I'm not sure where that 1.5 points went, and that bothers me a little bit that they're laying only 3 instead of 4.5 here. As far as the total is concerned, that's what I've bet so far. We saw a game that was a dead under through 3 quarters when these teams met. They had scored 23 combined points. And with 3 minutes to go, there were 33 points on the board. And then all of a sudden, in the final 3 minutes of the game, 18 somewhat fluky points were scored. The Giants are on a 27-12 under with an average of 40 combined points per game as an underdog over the past 3 seasons. I think this one stays under. Anybody who had the under in that meeting a few weeks ago, that was a horrible beat for under players. I think if they jump on the under here, they'll cash. It's at 48.5.
Okay, 48. That's what I was going to follow up there. All right, how about the Ravens and the Bengals? 9.5. Bengals.
Yeah, guys, if you look at what the Ravens have done to Joe Burrow, 2 of his worst 3 games as far as QBR and all that kind of stuff have come against Baltimore. They used the zone on 66% of his dropbacks, and I'm not the first one to talk about this. These were next-gen stats. But the Ravens threw the zone at him 66% of his dropbacks. He had a QBR this season against the Ravens of 15, yards per attempt 5.6, first down percentage 25%. Obviously, you got no Lamar Jackson. Looks like Huntley is going to get the reps in this game on offense for Baltimore. But I lean that way with the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think this defense is going to be easy to pick apart. I think the Bengals get the win. The Ravens get the cover.
All right, last but not least, the Cowboys minus 2.5 at Tampa Bay. At Tampa Bay, they got that quarterback, as you recollect there, Scotty, since you're having trouble remembering quarterbacks there a little bit at the beginning, named Tom Brady. Just I throw that at you.
Well, luckily, I was doing a show at Miami right before you called, not in Tampa, so we'll get the right quarterback. But, listen, Tampa Bay's offense has looked better of late, obviously, with Brady getting more time to throw, his receivers finding common ground, all that good stuff, and getting time to throw. Obviously, guys, the key component when you're going up against the Cowboys' pass rush. There's some great information out there, and I think Ed Werder was first talking about this, but the Cowboys' defense is built on speed. Their pass rush is not as effective on grass as it is on the artificial stuff. They're 1-4 on grass, 8 takeaways, 12 sacks. They have 25 takeaways and 42 sacks on the artificial turf. They average 2.4 sacks per game, Dallas does on grass, 3.5 per game on turf, yet their blitz percentage on grass is 35% as opposed to 25% on turf. And then with sack master Micah Parsons, 1.5 sacks in 5 games on grass. He averages 1 per game on artificial turf. So you get the picture. Wow. Dallas, with all that speed, is hampered when they go on the real stuff. So, hey, man, the grass might be a little bit longer, like Penn State used to do with Joe Pa.
Sure.
That grass might be growing a little bit longer in this game. And I like the way Brady and his receivers have been finding common ground. He gets time to throw. They win this game, I believe. And at home dogs in the wild card round, they're on a 30-16 spread run. I actually jumped on Tampa Bay, even though it's only 2.5. I know that scares a lot of people away when you say, well, I'm not getting that full 3. I took the 2.5 with Tampa Bay.
I think that Tampa Bay might have been playing a little possum last week because 2 weeks ago Mike Evans went absolutely off.
Yep.
It looks like they're catching their momentum at the right time. Looking at Dak Prescott's numbers in reference to playoffs, how much do the wise guys and yourself, Scott, take a look at what he's done in the playoffs? Because again, he's he basically takes 2 steps forward and 5 steps back. What do you come out with him in reference to playoff football only?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't care for the playoff performances when he's been in the postseason. I mean, I got Brady or I got Dak Prescott. That's a huge advantage for Tom Brady if he gets the protection. So not a huge Dak Prescott fan in the postseason. And then we saw one of the most discombobulated performances I've ever seen last week from Dak in that offense. I mean, that was like a preseason game out of a rookie quarterback.
Sure.
Did you guys remember? Did you see that play where he threw the pass in the flat? It was dropped for a pick six. Very next play, he does the same exact
pick
pass.
Six.
It's picked and run the other way. It's like it was his brother play a defense. He was trying to give him a gift. It was crazy.
Well, it's going to be a fun weekend, Scott. We appreciate the great input here, and we'll talk to you next week. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, guys.
Scott Spreitzer, DocSports.com, as well as follow him on Twitter at ScottWins. So Seattle at 49ers. He's leaning towards the 49ers. He didn't bet that game. He's taking the over in the Chargers-Jags. He also took the Bills, even though he didn't bet it, but that's where he kind of leaned. Took the over in the Giants-Vikings. Took the Ravens in the Ravens-Bengals, and he took the Bucks over the Cowboys. So there you have it. Hey, if you want to get a little bit more of this gambling talk tomorrow, the only local sports gambling show in Arizona, Take the Points, presented by Casino Arizona. It's live from the sports book in the CAC Sports Bar. Join Bauer, Gross, Jax every Saturday from 11 to 1 as the guys give you their uncensored sports betting opinions, analysis, and advice. They'll even tell you how people travel to different games.
Still not over that.
And still, I know. I tuned into a gambling show instead. I heard how Kevin Ray, the TV voice of the Phoenix Suns, gets to different games.
It's still stuck in his craw, Jax. Just deal with it. It'll be there forever.
That was like 5 months ago.
It's some stuff I did 18 years ago.
Tomorrow at 11.
It'll pop in.
Tomorrow at 11. Hey, Al Michaels likens calling this season's Amazon Thursday night games to selling a used car. I'll tell you what that's all about next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910.
For 16,303 yards. Did you know the career record for most hits is 4,256 by Pete Rose, who is not in the Hall of Fame?
Do you know that my next door neighbor has 3 rabbits?
Now time for Fox Sports 910's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B to give you the random facts of the day driven by your Valley Chevy dealers. Find new roads at your Chevy dealer. For a dealer near you, head to valleychevy.com.
All right, let's dive into it. Random fact of the day here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. The gasoline lawnmower generates as much pollution in an hour as a 300-mile car trip.
I can believe that because mowing my lawn forever with my Toro and all that smoke coming out. You just got to keep it oiled and gas. It'll last forever. I used to wonder about that. It'd smoke up the entire backyard. For hopefully a little bit of a wind blowing there, but I got their back mowing that backyard. Last time I'd mowed my a yard, it's been at least 12 years.
That's it.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it.
I did too.
I actually miss it, but I have set that up
now.
But
trim.
Yeah.
We're the same way.
Yeah. Major League Baseball is expected to use automated ball strike systems across all AAA this season.
Gonna happen.
Yep.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah. It was reported by ESPN that this won't mark the first time. They're calling them the robot umps.
Yes. Yeah.
But AAA, last summer, the PCL, the Pacific Coast League, began using it. It'll be interesting. I am anxious to see how this technology works. It's an experiment. They've used it in some satellite leagues like the Atlantic League. But to take it to AAA and to be across the board will be quite interesting. Quite interesting. And then how long till it gets to the next level?
Did they use it for Arizona fall ball this last year, Rock?
Yeah, I don't know. I did not
Here's
pay
the thing.
attention to it this year.
I mean, I'm sure there'll be an umpire behind the catcher. He'll just ball or strike, and then he'd keep track. Because you got to have the guy back there for all other incidental stuff and what have you. But, man, talk about taking the game out of the umpire behind the plate's hands right there. But he'll still be able to manipulate. But, wow, it's here, Rock.
Yeah, there you go. It was an interesting year for Al Michaels, the longtime voice of Monday night and Sunday night. And then he became the inaugural voice of Prime Video's Thursday night game this past season. And Amazon was disappointed on their lower than expected viewership numbers to the point where they've had to compensate their advertisers with make goods, free ads.
Wow.
And Al Michaels was doing a podcast for a sports media company. I can't recall who it was. And basically said, and this is a quote, where is my quote? He said, I think I'm at a point in my life and career, having watched sports since I was 6 years old, I feel what the crowd feels. The Denver-Indianapolis game, week 4, was a dreadful game.
It was.
No other way to describe it. No touchdowns. In fact, at one point during the game, I said to Kirk Herbstreit, is it possible this game could be so bad that it's actually good? He never heard that from a partner and went, no. And if you recall, that was a 12-9 game.
Yep.
A snoozer. And he is a little upset. He's somewhat, he's bored. He's pissed. You go from the Monday night games, the Sunday night games, to the Thursday night games that we all agree are unnecessary.
Yeah.
We all love football.
Yes.
It's a reason to have a game. But if the games aren't worth watching, the games are just pitiful like they were. I mean, it was horrible. He went on to say, from the Amazon people, nothing but support. Because I think I understood what this was. We're making the most of it. I mean, but you just can't oversell something. Do you want me to sell a 20-year-old Mazda? That's what you're asking me to do. I can't sell you a used car. I've kind of gone down that road a little bit in games that have been bad in the past, but this game was horrifically bad. What are you supposed to do at that point? And away I went.
I could. That's a strong comment, and we hear strong comment. It's almost like I can't make chicken salad out of chicken. You know what?
Yeah,
kind of the same thing. And we saw that this year. And I got to tell you what, Rock, I've never seen that side or those kind of comments come out of Al Michaels ever.
He's got nothing to lose
until this year.
He's 78.
Yeah,
and he's at the end of his. He doesn't need to work anymore. Well, he hasn't had to work in years. But, through the 2022 season, Thursday Night Football averaged 11.3 million viewers, according to Amazon. And I guess they were expecting much, much higher numbers. They did not get them, but the games were bad. And they spent $11 billion to be the exclusive stream partner through 2033. And for them not to have those numbers that they were supposed to hit, they were hoping in the 13 to 14 to 15 range, but they were as low as 9, as high as like 11.
Do you feel that there's enough people out there that Amazon Prime that can get it? I mean, we have it, that may not have it, that might have affected some of those numbers besides the play on the field?
I don't know. I think we're in that in that world now that streaming's everything. We just have to figure it out. And for the Jimmy B's and the Dan Manucci's out the world who struggle to find how to make it work.
Well, we have it on our TV. We have it on the TV. We got it. specifically for the games.
Yeah, I will tell you, Ohio University and Wyoming played in the Barstool bowl game down in Tucson, and it was not on over the air or on cable.
Right.
It was only on Barstool TV and their app. So you had to download the app if you had a smart TV, which I do, and most of you do, and watch it that way. But it was awful.
Yeah,
it was a bad broadcast. The commentators were awful. It's the Barstool guys, great guys at what they do, but they're not very good at calling games. And they wanted that approach that, hey, we're a bunch of guys hanging out at a bar calling a game. Well, there's some of us that want to watch the game and do want some of the good commentating from the from the play-by-play guy and the color analyst. But the broadcast was horrible. And I have as high a speed as you can get, the Gigablast, the Cox, the whole 9 yards, and it still was having some issues. And they even said that on Twitter. They were apologizing that it was coming from their end, not from the providers. It was coming from them getting it up on the internet.
I thought that I like Kirk Overstreet.
Herbstreit.
I'm sorry, Street in the college venue. I thought it was okay with the NFL venue. It didn't seem right. Does an outstanding job. Don't get me wrong, but I think that Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth were the team I would have preferred to keep that team together.
Yeah.
But the production seemed fine. I mean, the cameras, the production, the replays. But it was really interesting here. Al Michaels with a lot of the facetiousness, if you will. And then Kirk Herbstreit, he picked up on that a little bit.
Yeah.
But I just felt he was a little bit out of sorts in reference to the chemistry of the game that we've been so used to on Sunday nights with Collinsworth and Michaels.
Tickets are now on sale for the big game viewing event at Talking Stick Resort. This is our biggest year ever. We've been doing it for 22 years. Myself, Manuch, Jimmy B will host the big game in the Salt River Grand Ballroom. Tickets are on sale right now at Ticketmaster.com. You can watch the big game with all your friends, large TV screens. You'll be able to take advantage of the food and beverage specials. You'll be able to win cash just for watching the big game with our $25 squares that we do for each quarter, our $100 propositions, and then the big one, the kickoff progressive jackpot, which will start at $4,000. All of it is at the big game viewing party at Talking Stick Resort. Now, if that wasn't enough, we have stepped up our game. We've invited, and they have accepted, Bo Jackson, Doug Flutie, and D'Angelo Williams. Tickets are $25 in advance, $35 at the door. Space is limited. If you would love to join us, I would get your tickets now. They went on sale this morning at 10 o'clock at Ticketmaster.com. It doesn't get any bigger than this. You get to watch the big game, food, drink specials, and win some cash and get an opportunity to hear and see and talk to the Bo Jacksons of the world, which is only one, Doug Flutie and D'Angelo Williams. So it should be fun. Again, Ticketmaster.com, the big viewing party at Talking Stick Resort. Our number 2, we will have our opportunity for you to win some money with our picks with Kevin Rowe from Lerner & Rowe. It's a Visa, $50 Visa card. We'll tell you how you can win that in just a few minutes. Also, Sean Salisbury will join us as we continue on from Wright Toyota here on a Friday, the 13th. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910.
Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In Iraq and need a check? Make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. And always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. On Fox Sports 910.
Out here in Wright Toyota in Scottsdale, Roc and Manuch with Jax, no Jimmy B. I'm sure he's on hole number 12, somewhere down there in the East Valley. He'll be with us back here on Tuesday. We're off Monday for Martin Luther King Day. Suns will be playing on that day as well, but they got a game tonight as they're in the Twin Cities to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. We're also hearing that Jay Crowder's butt hurts. Yeah, his butt hurts, and all but one of Arizona's hoop teams won last night. Only one lost. Only one of all of them. And we're going to get into that now as we get into our top stories, which is brought to you each and every day by the new Sportsbook, from the new Sportsbook there in the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino Arizona. So we appreciate those guys being part of us on our top stories. But let's start with the Suns, as they'll be in the Twin Cities, as I mentioned. They've split the first two on their current 4-game road trip. They lost to Denver on Wednesday. They beat Golden State on Tuesday. They're 21-22 now. They've lost 10 of their last 12. We know the numbers. They are not a good basketball team right now, but they are severely banged up. And it would be nice if Jay Crowder, who, for whatever reason, we're still trying to figure out, who hasn't played a single second for the Suns this season. He's just hanging out. But supposedly, according to multiple reports, he and the Suns don't see eye to eye regarding his role. So they have decided to go their own direction, or their own separate directions, different directions, that is. And we're sitting here waiting and figure out what the hell is going on, because then we find out in a recent conversation with Bleacher Report, Crowder made it clear that his holdout for the team is unrelated to his contract and that he has the support of his teammates, despite this team desperately needing him because they're so banged up. And we are trying to figure out, what is the holdup here? Who's at fault? Is it the Suns? Is it Jay Crowder? I don't know. I don't think any of us know. His teammates know. The front office knows. But we don't, and right now it's really hard to want to support Jay Crowder if this is the case. If he's upset because the team isn't babying him or enabling him or saying we love you and you are a starter, even though we all know he's a 6, 7, 8 guy. Anywhere he would go, he would be 6, 7, 8 guy. Right now he'd be starting because the team's so banged up. But it's just unfortunate that he has to come out and talk to Bleacher Report and say things like this. This is a quote. "I will continue to prepare myself daily for battle once the call is made and continue to be a leader in the court, locker room, as well as off the court. I am thankful my teammates appreciate my leadership. I'm confused and hurt. My coaches didn't appreciate the things I brought to our team and this organization." And this has nothing to do with the financial or contract differences. But for him to say he's confused and he's hurt, to me, is BS. I think it's absolute BS, and I have no respect for him at this point. Now, I will eat crow if I hear something the Suns did to him, but I can't imagine what his employer did so bad for him to be, confused and hurt, because he's under contract. He's still getting paid, so he didn't do anything. Nothing must have happened that is against the rules that would, enable the Suns to suspend him or not pay him. There must not be anything like that, because you wouldn't pay a guy.
No.
If he did something wrong to the organization or misrepresent the organization in some way.
I guess I'm confused because he's the one that started all this before training camp. Not happy with whatever. He's throwing shade at the Suns. Making the comments, feeling underappreciated. because it all started with him, and the Suns are like, okay. Folks, we're only surmising with what we can tell that pretty much said, look, until we get things straightened out or you can figure out what you want to do, you stay home and we'll pay you. Now, we have never, we've only had a couple instances where we've seen this. The Deshaun Watson, that whole scenario, I could see them keeping him home and paying him, or even if he practices, paying him, but not dressing out. This thing now, it seems as though Jay Crowder's going, damn, we're over halfway through the year, and all the guys like me. They tell me they like me. Hey, Suns, I'm here. I'm ready to go. What are we doing here? Well, why don't you pick up the damn phone or have your agent pick up the phone and say, look, what is so egregious we can't settle? Because the Suns clearly would like to have him, but you have him in that locker room. What is he going to do to unsettle the culture that is in that Suns locker room?
Let's be honest, okay? He is a high round 2 pick. Okay?
Yes,
he was 34th overall. He cannot stay with a team longer than a year. What does that tell you? The guy has not been in the league that long, and he has played for Mavs, Celtics, Cavs, Jazz, Grizzlies, Heat, and Suns.
Wow.
Think about that.
He's a role player that can start, or if you're needed to plug in there. Yeah, he's a journeyman.
He started out with the Mavs for a couple years, and then he went to Celtics for 3 seasons, and then from there, I don't know what happened to his career. 1 year with the Cavs, 1 year with the Jazz, 1 year with the Grizzlies, half a year with the Heat, and then he's been with this team for a second year, and this would have been his third year. Yeah,
I don't know if he just wears out his welcome or something happened.
He must.
Yeah, and
look in the mirror, maybe. And Crowder, look in the mirror.
And for Mikal Bridges to say, hey, we miss you, but we know the business, we know this, we know that. And then the organization's like, they just are ignoring it at this point. But it is a mystery. It is more mysterious now than ever. When he comes out, it sounds like he wants to kiss and make up, but it sounds like the Suns want no part of it for now.
Now, I don't know if this is just a coincidence, but even in his college career, he was at 3 different colleges.
Well, maybe he's never content, Rock, and the Suns picked up on them. Maybe he's not content with his role.
But why still pay him?
Rock, he's under contract. Unless I'm like you. Why wouldn't you cut the guy away? Waive him? Because you want to try to get something for him. Well, why haven't you? We find out Robert Sarver's holding those deals up.
Which we knew that was the case.
That was going to be the case. But if this is the more he chirps, or even the Suns chirp back at him, you go, guys, can't we just all sit down and work it out?
But it's taken 5 months. This hit in September that they both mutually agreed that he was going to sit and not play this year until they found a suitable partner to trade him.
Yeah, and he started this mutual thing by throwing this at the Suns.
And it wasn't that because the Suns were saying, hey, we may move him.
Exactly.
We may trade him. And that got out, and he got butthurt about that.
It was all about the whole Kevin Durant thing started last summer, and some of the opportunities were putting this guy up there, that guy out there.
A guy that's been in so many trades and so many, it's been on so many different teams. You would think this just comes with the territory. This is the kind of player he is. And there's nothing wrong with that in any sport. There's guys that play on lots of teams. So what? There's a role for them. There's a spot for them.
I hate to tell you, Jay Crowder, you're under contract. They own your rights. They can do whatever they want with you at any time, whether you like it or not. And maybe some of the opportunities they wanted to trade, whether it be for KD or Indiana, whatever, maybe you don't want to go there. You're playing. You're making over $10 million a year. Be happy and move on from there.
Yeah, so it's just a story. It's just bizarre, and you just scratch your head and you say, what is going on?
Now, this makes it even more mysterious, Rock. It's like, okay, I give up. The soap opera has begun, as we know. I'm ready to tune in to see what happens tomorrow or the next couple of days. I mean, it's days of our lives with the Phoenix Suns.
I just would love an opportunity just for him to just get out in front of this, be transparent. It'd be refreshing to see that, to him get on a camera, call Philly. Hey, Philly, let's do a sit down. No, I'm serious.
I agree.
Do a sit down on Sunday night. I wish that, those Sunday night shows are great, or go on 10 or 5. I don't care. 3, it doesn't matter. But just do a sit down and just give your side, and maybe that'll help you get moved.
I'm laughing because it has resorted to that. I don't mean to laugh at the scenario. I think it's a great point. But to sit down with somebody and say, here's how we're at, what's going on, try to get a comment from the Suns, and they'll have no comment. And then just to lay it all out there, And if he wants to have a kumbaya moment with the Suns and go make this up, the Suns are probably like, well, we've already got our guys. We're settled. And the only way we'll try to do is just continue to try to trade you and move on from there.
It's funny because, in this Bleacher Report with Chris Haynes that he did the story, in a text message, it said, I believe this is what it was, is I've spoken to every player that I've played with on this team, and they all have stressed how much they miss me and respect my decision, and I'm thankful for their understanding. This is the part that I think is very interesting. Is this move of pushing me out the door was a blindsided hit to not only me, but my teammates, as you can see from speaking to them and myself and the conversations we had behind closed doors. Blindsided hit.
What? I mean, you're tradable. Everybody's tradable in any particular
And obviously,
time.
look at your history. You've been traded multiple times.
And how bad did you play the last half of the season in the playoff games? You hit one, you missed 10. Now, they liked your aggressiveness. They liked your defense. They liked that surliness about him. But he was becoming more of a deficit, Rock, than an asset when you looked at those playoffs.
Wasn't he butthurt? I keep saying that, but wasn't he upset that they were going to move him from starter to more of a?
There was that possibility.
There was that possibility.
Yes, there was. Yeah.
Because I just saw a stat that he started 111 out of 127 games.
Sure. Yeah.
So he's been that starter.
Yes. Yeah.
But if he would have been on this team right now, especially with all these injuries, and if he stayed healthy, he would be still starting.
Absolutely. Be careful about don't bite the hand that feeds you. And they felt that Cam Johnson would have been the guy that they wanted to finally move in as a starter and move him on. That's just life. That's reality in the NBA. That's reality as a veteran for a guy that's expendable, and he was one of those expendable individuals.
Some other basketball real quick. If you missed it, ASU winning streak is up to 3. They got by Oregon. Arizona took care of Oregon State. GCU crushed UT Arlington. And the Lumberjacks, NAU, fell to Portland State on a 3-point buzzer beater yesterday. So they'll all be back at it tomorrow, all 4 teams. So 3 out of 4 is not bad. So good stuff there. Coyotes, they got beat up pretty good yesterday by the Senators, 5-3. They've lost 7 in a row. They will hit the road tomorrow to face Minnesota, and then a back-to-back. They'll head over to Winnipeg for Sunday before coming home. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll catch up with Sean Salisbury here on a Friday the 13th, talk about some of the superstitions. It's not a problem, but he's a guy that has a lot of them.
Yeah.
That we had no idea about.
Mm-hmm.
No idea. So you'll hear that coming up in a little bit as well. But we need a caller at 602-260-9191 to compete with Kevin Rowe. One thing we missed today.
Yes.
Jack's Rewind.
Oh, that's right.
It's all good. I'm a rookie. Oh, I understand.
Know what?
I totally. You should have said. Did you have something ready?
Yeah, but it's fine.
No, we'll do it. Can we do it 3:45?
Yeah.
It wasn't on here. It's all real small.
No, you're good. Yeah, I'll take 2 or 3 of them that are the best.
You got more than that?
Yeah, I got
No. Can you give us one right now? Can you tease us with one without the open? Is there one you could give us one?
Yeah, let's do Richie, do number 1, the one about Jimmy B.
You should have jumped in and said something. Dude, I'm 54 going on 74. I'm very forgetful.
It's all good.
That's Bart Giamatti. 1991, baseball officially bans Pete Rose from being elected into the Hall of Fame for betting on baseball.
Remember it well. I did.
What do you remember about that, Jimmy? Did the Earth stop? Did the world stop?
No.
Did you remember what you had for breakfast?
I do, as a matter of fact.
Jackson's Rewind is we go back all week. Some of the fun things we did. Speaking of not remembering,
that's
so right. I was doing the 72 sold on this day report, talking about Pete Rose and you gotta love the pregnant pause.
I love when he chimes in like that with his little tiny comments, like or I remember that.
All right, Kevin Rose next. We'll do Jack's report at 3:45. Sean Salisbury in 15 minutes. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910.
Arizona's top full-service law firm, Lerner and Rowe. In Iraq and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. At Lerner and Rowe, no fees unless you win. Now Counselor Kevin Rowe with Roc and Manuch on Fox Sports 910.
Before we catch up with Kevin, I want to ask you something real quick, Manuch. Have you ever made a pizza, like in a pizza, like oven?
No, I never have. I've never done that.
Okay. All right. Jax, have you made a pizza like in a, made like a regular pizza and put it like in one of those pizza ovens?
I haven't, no.
Okay. So much for my bit. Kevin Rowe joins us now on the Right to It guest line because Kevin Rowe at our board meeting the other day showed us some pictures of his ability to not be able to make a pizza in a grill. Those unis. I mean, It's really just it's really the easiest freaking thing to do in the world.
Okay.
You get the dough, you get the pizza, you put it in, cooks in about 2 minutes, and you're done.
Yeah.
Kevin really struggled with that. So, Kev, can you make like a peanut butter jelly sandwich? I mean, are you a cook? I mean, or is this just an area that you pay people to do?
It's what. First of all, it's always nice to come on your show. I donate my time, my energy, and effort, and then I come on here and I get nothing but ridicule.
Really?
Rock, I'm not a chef. I've never cooked a pizza before. And little things you may not know, Rock. You need the right flour. You need the right tools, like a pizza peel. I didn't know that stuff. I'm not sure you know what that stuff is, Rock.
Oh, I got a place called Morocco's Pizza at Bellbank Park. You've heard about it, right?
Ouch!
So I got that.
I've heard about that. Shamrock's Pizza, right? Is it Shamrock's Pizza?
You've had it out there, and the kids liked it, right? It's made for the kids. Got you on that one, big wow. Got you on that one.
Just because somebody used your name doesn't mean you have a pizza place.
Yeah, this just in Lerner Row Pizza now at Bellbank Park.
That's right.
Yeah, they went from the stadium sponsorship in soccer to the pizza place, right? All right, Kev, let's get to it. Go ahead.
It's not as easy as you think. My wife bought me a little pizza oven for Christmas. It was very nice and it's fun. The kids and I all got involved in doing it, and our first attempt was not good.
Yeah, it is. I'm poking some fun because I have a Fontana. I'm kind of pizza connoisseur, and I'll admit it's tough at first because you got to get the heat right. You got to get the heat right. You get the heat right because those things cook fast. They cook fast.
Listen to Mr. Pizza Maker here, Kevin.
Flour. You got to have that flour too. You got to have that. What is it? 00 flour or something like that. That is specific that you need. And look, I wasn't aware that you need flour on the. I didn't have
on the peel,
so I was using I was using a pie cutter to try and get the pizza in there, and it got stuck on the rock, and then actually just folded in half.
Yeah, it's a lot easier just picking up the phone. It is. Go Menencio. Exactly. All right, it's our picks against the counselor Kevin Rowe from Lerner and Rowe, and Lerner and Rowe gives back. All right. Thomas and Peoria is who you're going up against. Our first one today is Brock Purdy, who you know quite well, will have over or under 225 yards passing against the Seahawks. Over or under 225.
That is true, Rock. I do know him well. He's not just a client; he's a friend. Yeah, I think Brock is going to have a fantastic day. Look at even the Seahawks are scared to be playing the 49ers. I would be. I think any team would be scared to play the 49ers right now with the weapons that they have. Rock was on his way to well over a 225-yard game last week until they pulled him out with 8 minutes left in the game. So I'm honestly going to have to take Brock on this. McCaffrey's going to have a bunch of yards. Debo, Kittle. It's going to be fun. So I'm going to take Brock all the way, and I'm going over.
All right. Thomas is also going over. Thomas and Peoria. Okay. So right now they're even.
All right, Council. So that's it. He goes over and they win that game and they move on. All right. Josh Allen will have over or under 50 yards rushing versus the Dolphins. Over or under 50 yards rushing versus the Dolphins.
Yeah, you don't want to take the Dolphins lightly, but I definitely think Josh Allen's going to have a great day. Like, if they're still playing for Damar Hamlin out here, he's healthy or getting healthy and on the mend, doing well. So I see a big game here. I see Josh having a big game. I'm going with the over 50 yards rushing.
Where's Thomas have there?
He's also got the over. All right, Tom Brady will have over under 2 touchdown passes against the Cowboys in Tampa Bay. Over under 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, this is interesting for me because besides last week's game or the week before when Mike Evans went off for
Yes.
3 touchdowns, I'm not sure Tom Brady's had more than 2 touchdowns all year besides that game. Look, I'm not a Tom Brady fan, so I don't really know. But I'm going to go with under. They're going to need to go over if they're going to win this game, and I'm going under.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, Thomas, he's going over Brady. It's hard to bet against Brady.
Oh, yeah. He threw for over 4,600 yards. But,
2 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, last one. Winner and score of the 49ers at Seattle game. Winner and score tomorrow, kickoff at 2:30 on Fox. What do you got there, big fella?
Again, Brock Purdy, the talent, the defense. I'm going 49ers all the way. Now, we just know they played, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And I think it sounded like it was a close game. I think it was 21 to, was it 13 or something like
Just
that?
close, yeah.
Touchdown that they got with Scrubs in. So I'm going with a big game here. I'm thinking it's going to be around 31 to 10. 49ers.
31 to 10. All right. Thomas actually went 38-20 49ers. So good one there. All right. So there you have it. Last one for you, Kev. How'd you end up this year in our fantasy?
Again, asterisk.
Why?
I don't like how Yahoo Sports did what they did. We should have moved it into this week and had some playoff games. Rock, look at if that's how you have to win, that's cool. I get it. That's how you have to win. That's fine, Rock. Congratulations, bud. I hope you enjoy that TV.
Which I believe I will donate it to the 10-year anniversary, or I should say the 10-year golf tournament coming up in April.
Yeah, Kevin, I like how you did that. Made him feel completely guilty, so he would donate that for the golf tournament. I like that.
Hey, it's all for the good. We're trying to help others in the community, have that positive impact. Rock knows he needs to be donating that back. He doesn't need another TV. He's got enough of them.
Yeah, there's some truth to that. Yeah, you only really need one. But anyway, hey, Kev, have a great weekend. You and the family, as always. Thanks, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
Let's go Niners, huh?
Let's go, Brock Purdy. Have a great weekend, guys.
It's Kevin Rowe, Learner Rowe. Check it out, learnerrowegivesback.com. You can check out information on the golf tournament. It's our 10th anniversary of the golf tournament. They're going to raise $1 million this year in this tournament, so it should be a lot of fun. Coming up, we will catch up with Sean Salisbury. Curious if he had some superstitious concerns, issues as a player when he played in college and in the NFL. We'll talk to him about that and get his take on Sean Payton as he does radio in Houston. Of course, Houston and Phoenix are in the running, allegedly, for Peyton. So we'll, Peyton, yeah, keep saying Peyton.
Sean Payton.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports, 910.
Sports 910.
Sean Salisbury joins us now on the right Toyota guest side. How you making out on this Friday, buddy? What's going on?
Let's not waste any time.
Yeah,
Sean.
let's get right into this.
Okay.
Friday the 13th, man. Will you go to a movie on a Friday the 13th?
I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. I mean, I'm not afraid. I mean, I'm not worried about it. I don't get caught up into the superstitious part of this. I'm obsessive compulsive and superstitious about certain things, but not about the actual day you're supposed to be superstitious about. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about it. So yeah, no, I don't have a problem going to the movie. I don't think I have one on the docket because we're not getting many of them out, man, that are eye popping. And I'll see a lot of movies, even if they're not, but there's not a lot of them that draw you to the theater right now, even though I go regardless.
Was there anything you did on game days, either in college or in the pros, that was kind of superstitious?
Pretty much everything. I would eat the same thing weekly. You guys can hear me clearly, correct?
I got you great.
Sure.
Yep, you're good.
Okay. I would eat this like steak and some fruit for breakfast. Game day. I would leave my hotel at the exact same time. Game day. I would shower in the morning when I woke up, but I would also I like to shower when I got to the facility to get myself up and going. I went out of the locker room. I had like a weight box. I would go out of the locker room at the same time to warm up. I would go through the same routine. I'll never, to this day, my right ankle has never been taped before my left ankle. My left leg has never gone in. To this day, when I put on jeans or sweats, I never put the right leg in first, ever.
Interesting.
It's always left. I work left to right all the time when it's shirt, pants, socks. I would actually, if my left shoe would have come off, I probably on the sidelines would have. I can tell you it's happened. I would have put my left shoe back on, then had to take my right shoe off and put it back on and tie it so that one was on last. That was my routine. So there's plenty of them. Yeah, no doubt.
There's therapy for you. You know that, don't they? Pay.
I know.
OCD.
Listen, I should be. I am. My shirts line up the same way. Now listen, some of it. Here's what I do. I try to get obsessive compulsive about not being obsessive compulsive. I remember I've been like this forever when it comes to like routine. My dad used to say, "Boy, I don't know how you get through a day with all that burden you're carrying around of the constant." I used to warm up. I can think back to when I was like 9 or 10, driving my bike to school and taking the same route all the time but it was on purpose. You know what I'm saying? So I've gotten better. But a lot of times what you do is you'll get rid of one and replace it with the other, right? So routine wise, I try, but I do have a lot of it in me. And yes, I know there is help for it. I'm not sure though, by the end of the meeting, that I wouldn't have him or her on the couch and me have to help them psychologically because my obsessive compulsive. Yet things that people are really like I'm like when it comes to cooking and cleaning, I'm like obsessive. And like I said, colored shirt, the shirt colors in my closet, reds with red, whites with white, golf shirts are lined up. The collars are lined up the same way. I'll never go to bed with like a pair of shoes, like where the left one's on the wrong side of the right one in the middle of my floor in my bedroom. I won't.
What a loaded question! What a loaded question I just had with Sean. Jeez.
Yeah, that's it could do. We could be. You want to have a session? I could be here forever. Yet you know what? Most people, like if you hung around me, like you guys know me, you probably wouldn't know. You know, I mean, because it's kind of just for me. But there are times I look at myself and I think, dude, nothing's going to happen to your life if you don't put on the right shoe first. But yeah, dude, I actually think at times it probably hampered my career. Like, oh, Sean, you threw one pick. Well, you like the number 3. Are you supposed to throw 3 of them so you feel better about yourself? And I'm a numbers guy. Honestly, I'm not turning off the TV when if it's not a 3 or 9. I mean, like, and I'm like the volume on my truck. I'll set it to a certain volume that I like. But if it's like 13, I will never get out of the truck. And you're talking about the 13th that doesn't bother me. I would never get out of my truck with it on the volume on 13 when I got out because that's bad luck. Yet it's Friday the 13th, and I don't give a fuzzy rat test. Isn't that weird? So
yeah,
that's me, man. Yeah.
All right, you're the voice in Houston. and there is this chase for Sean Payton. Where's he going? Because, of course, Phoenix wants him, Houston wants him, Denver wants him, who knows, maybe Carolina. Where do you think he's going?
The only reason he'd come here, guys, would be to Houston is because all the assets, all the salary cap. But I think he wants to control more of the front office. And here, he won't be able to bring Jeff Ireland, or if that's who he wants to bring. I think Arizona's open because now both situations are open. But other ones, I think you have to make a convincing argument to get him to go somewhere. And obviously you're going to have to trade for him anyway, but like Denver, to work with that general manager, because he's in a position where he can pretty much dictate that. So the reason he's not coming here is, first off, I don't think he wants to deal with dysfunction. Now, if it was his only offer, maybe, but I think you go back to broadcasting. I don't think Sean wants to go to a team he's got to rebuild, which may take a minute, especially if Drew Brees isn't on his team. Now, they're going to get a quarterback if they want it, but that may take 2 or 3 years. I think he'd like to go. I think he probably believes he can fix Russ Wilson quicker than he can fix a roster that's 18 players shy, right? So not here. And he's going to coach. But now the question is, like in Arizona, does he believe that, does Kyler Murray and the perceived or the organization talking about, well, not having to put the clause in his contract about preparation, that sure seems like a wrong mix for a guy that loves preparation, right? And he likes bigger quarterbacks, yet he worked with Drew Brees, who was smaller. I mean, Sean's got some quirks too, and I understand, but you would have to convince him that I think the quarterback matters. If the Chargers' job was open, let's say they get curb stomped against Jacksonville, and all of a sudden Spanos says, you know what, I was going to fire him if they didn't get to the playoffs, so they got beaten, embarrassed. And that job, let's say it came open with Herbert, the talent, Los Angeles. I think the job, I think the recruitment would be over. I think he'd take that job tomorrow. So I think somebody's going to have to make him an offer. But Denver's got the best roster. The question is Russ Wilson, is he now just a guy, or can he make him a better guy when he's there at $245 million? Quarterback's going to matter to him, as is people that he can work shoulder to shoulder with.
Sean, the rookie or young quarterbacks into the playoffs this weekend, obviously with Brock Purdy with the 49ers, you got Trevor Lawrence, his first go-around with the Jags, and then you got Skylar Thompson, ex-K-State Wildcat. He's going to step up against the Bills, and then you look at the Ravens. Hell, it could be Hundley, it could be Brown. What advice does one Sean Salz give these young men going into their very first playoff game?
Well, to Skylar Thompson, no disrespect to your Kansas State team, say 3 prayers and prepare for your off season, because you ain't beating Buffalo in Buffalo, brother.
Right.
Sorry, but I wouldn't tell him that. I'd say, you know what? Drop back, throw it to the open guy, let it rip, and realize you're going to face adversity. That's what I tell them all. With a guy Brock Purdy, your guy, Manuch, I would simply say, do what you're doing, dude. I know it's the intensity of the playoffs, but you got great weapons. You're throwing 11 touchdowns against a couple picks. You're 5-0. Hell, you're playing like a guy who's been in it. While the intensity goes up, you don't have to change anything. You're going to get defense is going to get you the ball. And I would never tell him, just don't turn it over. I'd say, dude, if you like it, let it rip. So with him, Baltimore, obviously it's up and down. And with a guy like, what rookie am I missing? Skyler, him.
And Brown, the kid for the
Ravens
plays.
Yeah, I would also say to them that since Lamar and Tua are playing, you probably, I would say the 2 easiest pass, although it's never easy. Cincinnati and Buffalo are moving on this round of the playoffs. Now, with even young quarterbacks who haven't been in the situation, even though he's not young, Daniel Jones with this intensity.
Yes.
Your guy Brock, he just goes, Geno Smith hasn't been a star. There's a lot of NFC guys that are like, I'll tell you who's under the most pressure is the dude in Dallas, Dak Prescott. Because the expectations are high. He's going to a team they're supposed to beat, yet it's Brady and it's January, and we know how that turns out for opposing teams most of the time. So I think Dak's facing the most pressure, and I actually think some of these, like Brock, will be relaxed and let it go.
Yeah.
But we're going to get a great feel for how he goes. He's got the best roster. All he's got to do is do what he's been doing without worrying about the fact that it's January. And I think the 49ers have a legitimate chance to be playing in your city in another month or so.
Can Tampa Bay, who's on absolute vapor, and you talk about Brady, they are on vapor. Can he pull it out, that last drive? I'm kind of banking on that last drive against the Cowboys, who are on vapor right now, too. Who can get to across the finish line with no gas in the tank is what I'm asking you.
I'm really intrigued with both 4 and 5 matchups, the Chargers in Jacksonville and this one. I think that you don't have to even tell me that. I don't even know if it's coming down the last drive. Tampa Bay's winning that game. Cowboys are going home. Tampa Bay, even though they haven't been very good and they are on paper, they're getting healthier. The key is, I'll just put it to you this way. If he's upright, and you'll know early if the ball's coming out and they're not hitting him, and you don't let a guy like Micah Parsons wreck the game, you tell me who you trust more, Brady or Prescott, regardless of their records right now. If the game's on the line, you're going with number 12 in Tampa. So if they're in it, I think they're going to win it. I think Tampa's moving on to the second round. I don't trust the Cowboys, and while I like Dak, you cannot lead the league in interceptions more than one a game and have missed 5 games. You can't do it, and he's going to be gripping it. If he's playing well, the Cowboys are a better team, but I'm just telling you, don't let the Tampa Bay Buccaneers start to feel good about themselves. If the quarterback's protected, Tampa Bay is going to win. I have no issue that Brady's going to play well in this game. People dogged him all year long. He threw for almost 4,700 yards in what would we consider a crappy year for him, 4,600 plus. So I like Tampa, and I'm not so sure Jacksonville's not going to take care of the Chargers as well. Really,
real
that's
quick,
going to be a fun quarterback game. What's that?
Sean, real quick, 15 seconds. If that happens, Tampa Bay wins, McCarthy out, or is he in for another year?
Jerry says he's out. I'm not buying it yet. I don't think that the Chargers job or the Cowboys job, if they get beat ugly and the coach has something to do with it, I think that they'll revisit that and evaluate it. I don't think either one of them are safe with a loss this week.
He's Sean Salisbury, unfiltered, uncensored. Sean, have a great weekend, man. Thanks for the time as always.
Appreciate it, fellas. Thank you.
Sean Salisbury joining us. Didn't know he was so OCD.
Yeah.
Wow. He's driven by All City Towing. All City Towing continues to hire for full-time positions and part-time positions. Joe, just go to their website, allcitytowing.com. That's allcitytowing.com. Well, speaking of OCD and superstitious issues that some people have, I have some myths on Friday the 13th that I'm going to share next. Some Friday the 13th myths, as it is the 13th. And it only happens twice this year. I believe it's this month in October.
True.
Coming up, it's our Learner in Row one call. That's all. Plus, what's on tap? Brought to our friends at 70.
Oh, that's all. Call of the day. If you're looking for a full-service law firm, just make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. Lerner and Rowe, voted Arizona's best law firm.
I think
this is the Rappaport audio.
Going into this, I would have said, I don't know if Sean Payton would go to the Cardinals. Now I think it's pretty legit. Sean Payton's different too, and maybe that works. And he is a great coach, and will no doubt give some accountability to Kyler Murray and make more of it.
Ian Rappaport on the Pat McAfee show, saying legit opportunity for Coach Payton to come to Arizona. We will see. Don't have to give up a lot. We will see. All right, we're short on time. We normally do Jack's Rewind at the top of this hour, but I had a moment and dove right into the
totally dissed him,
Crowder stuff.
Totally
so
dissed him.
Let's get right to it.
You're so angry
In
about
case
Jake
you missed
Crowder.
this week of Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, our fine rookie Jackson Groff has you covered.
This is exactly what I've been waiting for.
Jack puts it all together. The best, the worst, and in his mind, the funniest moments from this week's
About
show.
5 minutes left in the segment.
Jackson's Rewind exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
All right, so we're going to skip around a little bit. We're going to talk about the best moments of this week so far. So, Richie, we're going to start with number 2. Roc's moments of glory. I mean, he's an avid golfer. You know, everyone knows that. He's joined a men's league. He's played in tournaments. You're basically a pro, right? I mean,
No, I'm not even close.
well,
terrible.
This was his moment of glory the other day on hole 16 at TPC. Here is number 2.
Shot of glory on 16 yesterday.
Did you land on the green? I couldn't tell.
Yes, I did land on the
Did you
green.
land on it?
Okay.
I liked it. I couldn't tell if you were how far out were you from the pin.
I believe it was 137.
Okay.
And I had a pitching wedge.
Pitching wedge 137. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Rock. Look how put together he is.
No,
Man, I think it's in the
but you
gym
saw
all
my
the
swing
time.
on Instagram. It was horrible.
I did see it.
I had a lesson this morning.
Yeah.
This is how sad it was.
Okay.
I pull up. I'm running late to my appointment, and my golf pro's like, saw your swing yesterday. Like, you follow me on Instagram? He's like, yeah. He goes, let's get to work. Sure enough, spent a good 40 minutes working on some things that I need to do. As that swing on Instagram and Twitter or whatever that Mike Bauer took on our media day yesterday at TPC Scottsdale.
Well, at least at least he follows you on Instagram.
Yeah.
At least you know that. That's always cool.
And he scolded me.
Making sure lessons pay
Yeah,
off.
he said, left arm straight. Left arm straight.
Left
Keep your
arm
balance.
straight.
Keep your
Slow down.
Balance.
Yes.
That's funny. And then one more real quick. At number 5 there, Richie, we're going to play Manuch's ultimate playoff stats. So yesterday's show, we talked about how the national media isn't talking about how will Brock Purdy do in his first playoff start, how will he handle the pressure. And Rock mentioned, well, Manuch, you never played in a playoff game.
Yeah.
And you immediately told him you have. And you came back with this stat that you had one of the longest holding records in playoff history.
This is good.
Quote, most yards per average per run for a quarterback in a playoff game per carry. Here is the clip.
Play it, baby. At one time, I had the most yards per average per run for a quarterback in a playoff game at 10.5 yards per carry.
But shouldn't there be a minimum of how many carries you have?
Two
You had
carries.
2.
If he had one, that average, that
He was there. The punter had that many, I think, that game.
He had a cup of coffee. 10 yards per average in a playoff game, Rock.
So what advice are you going to give Brock Purdy from your 2 runs in a playoff game?
When you run
2 minutes.
out of bounds or slide, whatever that is.
1 carry minimum. That's all you need.
Rock, put that in your freaking pipe and smoke it, man.
Dude, you
What are
had
you doing there?
2 carries for 21 yards. Is that what it was?
Yeah,
do the
that's
math.
that's 2 more carries than anyone else could say.
Yeah, fair.
Do the math. Do the K-State math in that bad boy there.
Oh, my goodness.
At least you're going forward, not backwards.
Extremely correct. Absolutely. Thank you, Jack.
And he
Good
runs
stuff.
out of bounds. Oh, man. Hey, what's on tap brought to you by 72 Sold. Suns Timberwolves tonight at 6 o'clock on Valley Sports, Arizona, to kind of get your schedule ready for the weekend for the games. Just if you aren't watching what time games are, here they are. Seattle at San Francisco will be 2:30, followed by Chargers in Jacksonville at 6:15. Then on Sunday, Miami and Buffalo will get us started at 11, followed by Minnesota hosting the Giants at 2:30, and then the Sunday night game will be Cincinnati and Baltimore. Dallas at Tampa Bay, 6:15 in that one.
1 minute.
State 48 Roofing. It's your question of the day for a lot of the folks speaking about all those games out there. Just go to State 48 Roofing, sexy roof status from that particular standpoint. Taking a good hard look at it. Who's the team of the 4 NFL wildcard games we put out there? Who will get the upset? Is it Jags over Chargers, Giants over Vikings, Ravens over Bengals, or Buccaneers over the Cowboys? The leader, Jaguars over the Chargers at 40%.
Go with that.
And then Giants, Vikings 30, and Buccaneers over Cowboys 30%.
We're off on Monday. We don't get these holidays, but corporate America says, hey, you guys are off on Monday.
Dang.
Sorry, Manuch. You'll be okay.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
All right.
I'll figure out something.
Don't forget, tomorrow, Backspin the Golf Show starts at 9, followed by Take the Points at 11. Get a double
10.
shot of Mike Bauer tomorrow. It's Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B. Wishing you a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Tuesday.
Have a good weekend.